thought of a way, like unless you guys are just wanting to have a general conversation, I did think of something that we could do. Although we would need Jay to download AnyDesk so that he can watch on my monitor, or we could talk him through it. And basically, what I would either talk him through or just show him through the AnyDesk. AnyDesk is one of those things that lets you like see what I'm doing on my monitor, or even take control of the computer from your end, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Is like the little Logan knows about how to cut and edit. So if you've got time for that and want the quick Logan class on that, I'm happy to.
Honestly, you can share your screen on AnyDesk.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, does he need to download AnyDesk to do that?
No, you can. Sorry, you can share your screen on Jitsi. We just won't be able to control it.
Oh, that's fine. How do I share my screen on Jitsi?
Bottom left of the screen.
Bottom left.
Yeah.
Share your screen, motherfucker. Look at that.
It should be one set. Let me tell you. Just do entire screen. It's easier that way. Just make sure you don't have any porn running in the background or anything.
I'm pretty fucking dull on that, so.
Okay.
I mean, plus it's like 2 minutes when it's up, so it's not long. Anyway, okay, so how I do it. Now, are you guys able to, hold on, let me see if this.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
You see Filmora booting up?
Yep.
Cool. I'm just going to show you what I do. I'm not saying it's the right way.
Oh, I use the same program, so I know what you're doing.
Excellent. Let's see. I'm going to go into. It also drives Freddie nuts just how many tabs and shit I've got. Yeah. Suck it. I'm just going to use one of these and cut around it and stuff. But okay, so let's say you've got. This is where I start with the cutter. Did you see what I did to get to the cutter? Here, let me start over. Okay, when you first boot up Filmora, this is the paid version. I don't know what's up with the R version, but honestly, it sounds like you're gonna need the paid version. It's $50. You're not gonna fucking miss it.
I generally use full feature mode, but yeah.
Well, I'm showing them when I'm going in the order I do it, but you're gonna know a lot more shit than I do. I'm just going with this is easy to learn, and between you and his own stuff, he'll figure it out. Full feature we'll use later, but first. I'm assuming that your kid has just recorded a fucking 3 to 5 or 10 hour chunk, and now that's too big to work with. You don't want to work with anything over an hour. An hour after that, the computer just good chunk, and you're going to be sitting there all day. So you're going to need to cut it into pieces.
Gotcha.
So you go for instant cutter. Now I'm going to just load in a random chunk of stuff off the last game. You recognize these mug shots here. Now, what you do is, you see this little red thing that I'm moving back and forth?
Yep.
What that does is you find the place that you're wanting to cut it. And if you hit play.
Oh.
Yeah. Only if he's
So,
not drunk. Then
Can you picture
then
him
you can
sitting
hear
around?
people talking, and you can find the right place. Now,
Right.
if you fuck with this part, that's no good. So you want to hit this thing here. Set out point. And it goes all the way over to where your red thing is. Okay. So then you just hit export. Now it's kind of tricky here because it always tries to save to the C drive and the Filmora bullshit and all that. You don't want it to go there because it's going to fill up your C drive quick. So you just click this and you find a place that you've got room. I'm just going to stick it in the folder that I'm not using for today. Just because that way I can delete it and not care. So you just put in the new thing. The open output folder does nothing. I don't know why it's an option. It doesn't actually, or it opens a different folder, but not the one you want.
Oh shit, we have another person.
I don't know. Holy shit, it's Chris.
Oh hey Chris.
Chris, just so you know, while we're testing this out, I've decided to try to get more bang for the buck and teach Jay how to use Filmora. So That's what we're up to.
Hi. Hi, I'm Bobby.
He's muted, don't worry.
Yeah, I think, yeah, he's just trying to show off his fucking giant castle he lives in.
Chris, you're muted, by the way.
You good? Okay. Well, he figures that out. And then
So you don't know what the after finish thing does, but that's what you do. And okay, so it cuts out that part, puts it into its own little chunk.
Yeah, and it actually did open up the correct folder this time, just because you were watching. So this is the folder I decided to save it to. So now I've just got this thing here is this little chunk here. Okay, so then you grab hold of the front end and you drag it over to where the back end is. Okay.
Okay.
Then you drag the back end out, and then you find the new place that you want this to be. And basically, at that point, you're just repeating it, and then you hit export, and it takes their little chunk out, and it'll number. Here, I'll show you how it's going to number them, guys. So it goes part 1, and then -1 parentheses 2. What you're going to do is eventually, here, I'll swing this over here. You're going to rename this. Oops.
Around being Sheffield.
You're going to rename this as, because this is actually the second part. So you're going to rename it as part 2. So then it'll go 1, 2, etc. See what I mean? You're getting rid of the superfluous shit. So then, after you cut it into pieces, 1 hour pieces, or if you're making like the other videos that are only 10 minutes long, you're probably not going to use this feature. Okay, this is for, holy shit, this is too damn big to work with.
Mm-hmm.
So, then I'll set this off to one side. You can close down this thing. What I like to do is I like to close it entirely, because normally in this folder here, I'm going to have like the main thing, and I'll like the original that I downloaded off of YouTube or whatever. Because if you're the one who streams a thing, like we're streaming this onto YouTube, and so you can automatically download your own stuff from YouTube. You don't have to go through special programs like if you're trying to download Chris's latest porn from YouTube or whatever. You don't have to worry about that. Yeah, I know you're disappointed. So he looks around. There's a bunch of coworkers behind him going, "Who are those people?" So I like to keep the original, and I stick that in the mulch folder, because that way I've got it and I don't have to go download it again. Okay. So, or I stick it in the original folder. Sorry. So then you've got the pieces. Now, the next thing you're going to do is you can save a project, like if you've got it set up to where you want it to be. Like, for example, on all of the anytime, anywhere stuff, I eventually figured out, took a while, how to do like the intro thing where it shows like all this shit, you know, the title and part what. You might not have that. You may have something totally different. It's the kind of thing you're going to fuck around with, or maybe Freddie knows off the top of his head, because he knows a lot of shit off the top of his head, how to make it. But I chose to have this. A lot of people, you might have something totally different. And I also have like an outro thing that, because it shows who played in the game and stuff like that. So rather than just going in through the R thing, I'll just go like after you set it up the way you want it, save project as. And then you just save it in the folder, and you can copy it or whatever. You can have your original that you copy out of and stuff. This is super easy. So
this is like your template, so you don't have to do that every time you make a video.
You've hit the nail on the head. So then all you have to do, I realize this is quick and dirty, but I'm also trying to be respectful of your time and shit, because you actually have a life, unlike Chris, who's, I don't know what he does anymore for a living. And Freddie lives here in the game world with me. So then pretty much you just click and drag your stuff into this. Now, this is like the waiting room. Okay. So then you click on one of them because you don't want them both highlighted. If anything's highlighted, when you click and drag it down to the working table down here, it'll all come. So you want to make sure that only one of them gets dragged down, and you just click and drag it, left click and drag it over to here. So now you've got this piece that you can scroll through, and you can see the time up here. We've got like a 13-minute chunk of shit here. Okay.
Yeah.
You are going to spend lots of time in this if you're trying to make professional quality videos, which I don't, and I still spend a lot of time doing it. I have found from professional editors, because I've sat and watched them work on like a TV station, you spend about 4 times as much time editing as length of the thing for a professional. Somebody who's like moving along with a clarity.
Right.
So, now, there's a lot of useful... That's all, Chris.
Oh, okay.
Now, there's a lot of useful buttons here.
Chris. Undo them.
Undo. Up here, if you hit play, then it'll just start playing through your shit. I have no idea what this render timeline bullshit is over here. I don't use it. I get the green light. By the way, I found out if I got the red light, then yeah, it pops up with some message about render timeline, press enter, and I just ignore that. There's a lot of shit on here I ignore. But in fact, like there's a stop button, never used it. You either play or you hit it again, it stops.
So is that basically like a little preview window?
Yeah, this up here is what you see is what you'll get, and you can move it around with this line. See how Chris's head moves around? Look at me.
Yeah, so that's where you can kind of like test your changes real quick without having to like save it and open it again, I guess.
Well, no, this up here in the upper right is you're seeing what goes out. For example, like if I choose to cut with this, and then I want to move this over, and I discovered that this part in here is no good, and I put cut again. This piece here is coming out. So then all I do is just I'm hitting the delete key now, poof, gone. So now Chris goes from this, yes, to, and it's fairly seamless. Also, I could do something like if I needed to cut here and I wanted to move this, I'm just clicking and left clicking and dragging it. Now this is over here. So then it goes like faster. I get the green light. See what I mean? And if I don't want this piece, I could hit the garbage can, but I usually hit delete. Garbage can does the same thing. Whatever piece is like highlighted is what you're getting ready to mess with. If I want something back, I just undo it, and then it's back. These buttons, never used, don't know what they do. This shit, never used. Redo. It's gone again. Undo, redo. If you wanted to like put this piece here in between this chunk and this chunk, you just click it. Oh, and then drag it in, and then you've got a super long chunk.
Gotcha. So like the waiting area, you called it. If I wanted to take a separate little video clip and insert it there, like a little flashback or just something funny I wanted to insert.
Exactly.
Record it and then drag it down there.
Yeah. That's an excellent point. Like with all the professional YouTubers and shit, I'm sure they've got like lots of little things up there, a little 3-second clip of a guy going, all that shit goes in the waiting area. I'm pointing out like you can see me. All that shit goes in the waiting area, and then you just drag it down. When eventually you're done with and whatever you do, don't just because you're done using it, don't delete it because it fucks with the stuff in the bottom.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, it might not. So, but on the other hand, if you delete it, you're not going to be able to pull it down again. So I just recommend.
Unless you like import it again.
Yeah. Now, something cool that you can do is like, let's say you're working on all this bullshit and you're like, oh, I've got something else I got to do. You can just file, save project as, and then it'll save all the little pieces and stuff, unless you move them from the location that they're at in your computer, and then it will go, that shit's gone. I tried to pull it back into the fucking waiting room. It's missing now. You're fucked. And you go, ah. So
Yeah.
don't move shit around, So, okay, let's say you've done a bunch of editing, and you can also over here, this is super useful. You can make it bigger and smaller.
Okay.
I use this all the time. And if you want to slide back and forth, the bottom thing, you just grab hold of it and slide it around so you can look at your whole thing.
Right. Yeah, that probably makes it easier if you need to like cut out a little 2-second piece.
Oh, you're going to be like, especially if you're editing this stuff, I would, as soon as you learn to use it, I'd teach the kid and make him edit his own shit, or it'll suck up your life editing fucking 5-hour long videos and shit.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it'll be pretty time consuming at first until he learns this part. Is him recording, that's the easy part. This is the time consuming part.
Well, all I do on my stuff, as far as video stuff goes, I'm a hack. I pretty much just record it, and then what I'll do is I'll make it look about this big with the blue line, right? Little like quarter of the screen, and I look for like, this isn't a dead zone here. You can see a little bit of talking and stuff, and I might even play a little bit. So I'm sure that there's it's just Chris talking there. So, but if it's a flat line, then I'll like start at the beginning of the flat line and maybe fast forward through it or listen to it. I'll just cut out the silence. But if your kid's playing a video game and it's all relevant, you may end up doing less editing. But on the other hand, it depends on if he's doing like a full through thing or if he's just wanting like highlights reels or whatever, because the highlights will be a lot more. So anyway, then once you've gotten the piece ready and you're happy with it, you go into export, create video. I've never used any of the other bullshit on here. Okay,
I know you just upload to YouTube.
No, because I don't want the program to be busy because I've got so much other shit that I'm going to be doing. So
What?
Yeah, I'll show you in a sec. What I do is I'll go into, now again, the save to, be sure to fucking change that because it likes to give you the last folder you saved to, and that might not be the folder you want to save to this time. So then I'll go into, and the important thing is I can do this after I've had like 2 bottles of wine. That is vital information. Because if you can't, I see no fucking value to knowing it. It has to be super. So then you change the name, test stuff. Now your format, I only use 2 different formats because I'm also putting it in MP3 because someday I might find a podcast service that doesn't fuck me like the last 2 have. The last 2 got jiggy with me because they're like, you're putting several thousand gigs of shit on our thing. We're going to claim a copyright violation for your completely new material because we want to get you gone quick. And MP4, the other file formats I'm sure are fucking wonderful, but the MP3 and MP4 are very common, so that's what I use. Plus YouTube is happy with MP4. And then you just hit the export key. Now, for me, this shit takes a long goddamn time because I've got like an hour a slot. And even now, converting it into MP4, I'm just going to cancel it and show you how fast it is in the MP3 because it's a lot faster.
What, 24 megabytes, that's why.
Yeah. So the time it spends converting into MP4s, usually I have this window running on my other monitor so that I can like play cowboy games, watch YouTube videos, drink heavily, whatever it is I'm into at the time.
All right.
And then it will tell me when it's time to start burning the next hour's worth.
Gotcha.
Because this part takes a long time for the MP4s. But
when you're doing the MP4s, approximately how long is it per chunk? Is it like an hour per part?
I've never really timed it. I'm going to guess between half an hour and 45 minutes, maybe, something like that. I'm not sure off the top of my head. I know that...
Okay. Well, you're not going to talk about settings at all?
I'm not going to talk about Satan at all? What?
Settings. You don't mess with that at all, really?
Oh, hold on a minute. Let me do my part, and then you can tell them the smart shit. This is the fucking. I don't know shit about it. I don't know most of this program. I am kind of like. Did you ever see? No, you've never seen Space Odyssey movie where they got the monkey with the bone and the fucking obelisk in the background. I am the monkey. Okay. And this program is the fucking obelisk. I know how to beat on it with a bone. That's it. So yeah, I'm sure there's other shit, but honestly, I'm more into quantity versus quality. I think. I think that's fair. Okay, so where are your settings at, Freddie?
You were just on it.
Yeah, you were just there.
God damn it.
Yeah, right there in the middle.
Go to MP4. And on the right, click settings.
Oh, hell no. Dude, I've never even seen this before.
This is the most important thing.
So here's all your video quality.
Because
it's on better.
This can drastically reduce.
What more can you ask than better?
Basically, if you fiddle around with this J, you can reduce the time it takes to render and everything.
Yeah, but then you're only the best, not better. Gotta be better. Can't be good, though. Gotta be better, but not good.
I mean, most of the stuff, Jay, is...
Like if you put it at best... And like put the frame rate up and all that, it'll probably take longer. But if you lower things, it'll probably go faster.
Mine doesn't even allow
it's right there on the left.
Oh, shit. I was reading it backward. Wow. Fuck me, right? I've only had one bottle of wine so far. I just got done gaming a few minutes ago, and I'm up to almost a bottle of wine right now because I need to slug back some shit, you know?
I can see the pain on Chris's face.
This is nothing compared to yesterday, or was it yesterday we gamed? Yeah, I think it was yesterday. I thought he was gonna fucking just be like, we're gonna kill everybody, fuck it, because he's come close to genocide a few times in the campaign. Just not if you think, see, genocide. He doesn't want to say that out loud in his workplace and just yell genocide. I mean, because they'll get the wrong idea.
No, that would be fine. I just wanted to make sure there was no beeping or like people flopping around.
It's great that you live in this giant fucking building, but you're really showing off. So anyway,
I think he moved into Costco.
Yeah, well, he went to university at Costco too. I mean, that's only because he got in through grants and stuff.
Or he's like prepping for the apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
This is all my food in the background here.
That's over there.
Oh, holy shit.
When he did that, I was really expecting to see like two employees just fucking raw dogging it in the aisle. That's what I was expecting to see.
That's why he keeps looking over there.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys hurry up and finish.
Are you done yet?
Oh man, the scary thing is that he's one of the fucking big dogs there. So that everybody else is fucking.
I'm a mid, like a lower mid.
Everybody else is counting their steps, and Chris is like, "I'm hanging out on YouTube, yo." Okay, so Freddie, did I cover the basics on how to do shit?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that worked.
I mean, most of it is just self-explanatory. You press the button, see what happens.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why I said when you get this program and just have some bullshit test footage and stuff that you can play with, stuff that you're not going to be broken up with if you destroy it or whatever.
It's not rocket surgery.
Rocket surgery? What the fuck kind of weird Frankenstein Doc Fulton operation are you running here? We're gonna fucking put in a new appendix into this rocket because fuck it, I'm Doc Fulton. By God, I can fucking build whatever I want, Logan.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a zone for that.
Yeah, actually, there probably is. Also, the people that sell this and also what's it called, the Scrivener and Scalpel and shit like that. When I got a new computer, I wrote them and I was like, "Hey, I got a new computer, and here's the information from last time." They're like, "Here you go," and they just poop. So this is one of the very few programs I'm like, yeah, I'm totally happy with it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, no, Jay, I'll hook you up. Don't worry. Don't go spend
Are
your
you
money.
gonna buy him fucking drugs? Is that what you're doing?
No,
Yeah, I haven't bought it yet. I was.
You're ready to fucking find a truck, shake that motherfucker. But I mean, also if you do get it, because honestly, I know that Jay is producing like his own colony of people and stuff, but I still think he can afford $50 because you can get the what's it called, the updates and shit like that if you want to and stuff
no,
like
and
that.
turn off your sharing.
Oh right.
That's the bomb. Yeah.
Hey,
Hey.
I'm alive. But yeah, no. OBS, I know jack shit about. Pretty much Freddie helped me set up all the different scenes and sources and shit, and then I just hit the start streaming, stop streaming. The worst thing about OBS is if you mute yourself on OBS, unless you're looking at OBS, you don't see that you're fucking muted on OBS. And so I ran a game for like an hour or two where everybody else was talking and laughing at shit I was saying, and you couldn't hear me on the recording because I forgot to unmute myself on fucking OBS.
Really?
Yeah. So I stopped muting myself on OBS. Fuck them. They can just listen to me flush the toilet wherever I'm up to. So I'm thinking that if this ever got popular someday, I don't think it's going to get that popular, but somebody's like, I'm going to have to rebuild. They're going to have a lot of fucking editing ahead of them. So,
well, one thing, just from the very little bit of research I've done, if you really want to start drawing attention, it sounds like even just adding a thumbnail and
all that, it doesn't.
And I know you guys had already talked about, you guys had like changed the title. Like, I wonder, for example, like, does BRP d100 really do anything? But I think if you really want to draw attention, it seems one of the things I've seen is they say, make sure you put in a nice looking thumbnail. And then
here's what the problem. Here's what the problem is, Jay. Yeah, I like that. Here's what the problem is, Jay, is that whenever somebody checks out a YouTube channel like this, or pretty much any YouTube channel, usually that isn't, or if they check out a YouTube channel that's an ongoing story, where do you logically start? You don't fucking start in the middle. You start at the beginning, and the first few sessions were horrible tech quality. Like, it was us from the side, like me and Matt, and then Yana's on a monitor, and it was bad. Sound quality is bad and everything. And if I was running a normal channel, like your kid's fucking Minecraft channel, your channels, whatever, you can delete and remake that shit. But I can't say, Yana and Matt, I need you guys. I've made some scripts of that game because we got to make it good, but we can't just get rid of it, or people will say, "What the fuck happened back then?" Because all these other things refer to it, and it's a constant growing in joke.
What about, like, can you change the title of them, or would you have to re-upload everything?
No, you can change the title of stuff, but again, the problem is that this is a very niche thing. Like this kind of gaming, I'm hearing a whoosh, 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 whoosh from Jitsi, and I don't know what's causing it. Where all the stuff comes in, all the crap around it. Like the...
it's probably just background noise from Chris.
That's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
But, well, yeah, he's just hanging out with us, and I appreciate it because I'm trying to stress test this bitch. The problem, Jay, is that gaming itself, for tabletop gaming, already niche, right? But then if you're not doing D&D, like D&D is like 60% or more, a lot of people are like, I need a game. I'm like, I run a game. They're like, I want to play a fucking cleric and I want to be, and I'm like, it's not D&D. And they're like, there are no other games. And I'm like, so that's the deal with this that makes it difficult is it's a niche of a niche that I'm in. I'm in such a fucking small market share that I'm lucky to have like as many people listen to it as what do, and that's probably like 3 to 5 people are really hardcore following it. With any live broadcast spiking up to 12 to 15 people for reasons Logan cannot understand at all. Same shit, but if it's live, people are like, yeah, I want to live, and I'm like, so like if your kid wants to get some followings, you might not even need to edit shit that much. If you're comfortable having them live on YouTube, I think I'm gonna blow up this whole thing. And shows Jay in the background going, yeah, get it, whatever, and blow it up, son, just like you did our fucking garage. And he'll be like, yeah, just like the garage, and planting bombs everywhere, whatever. And then you don't have to edit shit. So, but I don't know. People have a huge hunger for it. Like that's what Twitch is all about. If he gets into fucking Twitch, people are constantly watching other people play games.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's like I'm. If the person's entertaining enough, like there's some Scottish dude who plays the Agent 47 or whatever, the assassination game thing that it's Hitman, right? And I watched that. Hitman's a rather simplistic game, but the dude's really funny.
Yeah.
So I've watched a bunch of those where it's the kill everyone challenge. He's like, oh, I'm going to dress as a waiter now. And he's using a shovel on somebody or whatever. It's like,
yeah.
So.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, my thought was if there was a way to attract more people, so you did have even a small following, knowing that it's a niche of a niche, that putting an actual thumbnail in there versus like a still from the game, and then maybe coming up with a different title.
Yes, he had thumbnails.
I actually did for a while have thumbnails. I was trying something new, and so I started doing stills from the game. But for a long time, I just had thumbnails.
Yeah.
I've tried it, but it's a niche of a niche, and to get.
But I think part of what it is figuring out what are those little boxes you got to check to get YouTube to get your video recommended or show up in searches more.
You're talking
because
about
even
the
though there
algorithm.
is a niche, there's still a larger audience that would potentially find this story interesting. But how do you get their eyes on it for the first time?
That would be cross promotion. Cross promotion is one of the things there. But honestly, I am a curmudgeon-y old bastard that I pretty much the only reason that I would give a shit about getting lots and lots of people to watch this, because I have almost enough players. If I had 2 or 3 more players that were going like really, very part-time, we would be full up. So we're good on players. I mean, even during the off days, we got 2 players. During the super off days, there's Freddie. I mean, that motherfucker's he's chained to the campaign, so he lives here. So I've always got players, which is my big thing. But I would like to have more people listen to it, but I'm like, I'm not going to make any money off of YouTube. You need at least 1,000 subscribers to even be considered for it. But for like all of the cross promotion stuff, if you had if you contacted people and like, hey, I'd like to promote you, you want to promote me, and I'll like your channel and you like mine, so we each get another subscriber. honestly, I started doing that for a while, and I was like, I'm just fucking tired now. After after trying it with like 50 different channels and shit, I was like, I don't care anymore. I'm just gonna run the best campaign I can, and if people want to watch it, that's great. But if I'm really lucky, somebody who's really into it or gets into it may end up doing something with it at some point. I don't know.
See, Logan, two things. One of your biggest strengths of this format that you're doing is also your biggest weakness, and that there is too much damn content.
Uh-huh.
People don't want to necessarily sit through fucking 5 days worth of content every week. That's a lot.
Wow.
Secondly, and this is it's just everyone judges your content based on the first few videos that you put out, and we all know those aren't necessarily the greatest quality.
Oh, they're horrible. Just horrible.
And even if the later ones are better, no one's gonna want to sit and watch this kind of story-driven campaign from the middle.
Right.
Because they'll miss so much. It's like, what the fuck's going on?
Exactly. Well, like if a new campaign, like if the PCs destroy the universe, for example, and yes, they do have the fucking power to do that. Fucking Chris knows they do. But if they do decide to do that, or one or two people, I know Chris is going to blow it up eventually. He blew up the last one and blow up this one. So if that happens,
blow it up.
Huh?
I didn't blow up the last one.
Shut your pie hole. Of course you did. You did it and you fucking enjoyed it. You gave the nod and then Mr. Squirrely Pants dumped it in there and boom. Anyway.
It was not my fault. I remember sitting there stunned, like, what the fuck did you just do? I thought Corey was going to throttle him right then and there.
I beat off for that for weeks. Anyway. But if I ever start a new campaign, then I would start a new channel. Because then we would have better, not great, but better quality. But yeah, for me, that's always going to be a weakness because I like the game. Nobody's ever said Logan's late. Nobody's ever said, where is Logan? I thought we were gaming today. And I don't think there's many fucking GMs that you can say that about. And even if I'm not feeling it before the game, I make sure to feel it during the game. You know what I mean? Show must go on.
I'll make sure you feel it.
Such a dirty man. But I think, in my opinion, based on what I've seen, it seems like if you were to release, like if Jay was to make a channel, and honestly, I've tried to convince him that I think he's got enough knowledge, enough charisma, enough charm and wit to make I could see him doing 3 or 4 different channels if he got into it. But I think that if you were to release a solid 9 minutes every week, not 10, not 11, 9 seems to be the magic number. Don't know why, just fucking is. But a solid, not 8, 9 minutes solid. I mean, when you get enough of a following, if you go 12, they're like a bonus. But for some reason, 9 minutes at the beginning seems to be the magic fucking number. But if you were to release a solid 9 minutes every week, that's the butter zone. Don't know why.
Yeah, it's easy to commit to watching a 10-minute video than a 1 hour long video.
Exactly. Yeah. I have so much stuff to watch. It's just I'll get around to it sometime,
Yeah.
No, like I would think if you wanted to try to get the game to show up in search more and get people to more find you on YouTube, one thing you could do is go back to some of those very early games and change the title to reflect something like testing or something like that. Find a way to actually rename one of your first videos where you're about 10 videos in or something, where you kind of worked out some of those first kinks where you're not seeing you and Matt sitting at the same table kind of thing, and putting something that signals that that's kind of the starting point.
I did put a message
in a way
stuff,
you had a lot of players starting the same way but at different times.
The quality didn't get good for a long time, and honestly, I'd have to rename like 50 or 100 fucking videos at this point. I'm not even exaggerating. Do you know how much content?
I mean, the amount of content you put out there is like a good thing. You know, YouTube is going to reward you for that. But when you look at the titles and stuff like that, it's confusing to tell what it is. But I don't know what would be a better title.
Yeah.
Something like RPG game or something like that. Like
even something silly like not D&D.
Right, yeah, exactly.
What's that?
Because at least you can include D&D in the title.
Yeah, like not D&D.
True.
That might be a good name for the game. Not D&D. Not Critical Role.
Yeah.
Well, I've got D&D in the keywords. I don't know how much good a keyword search does, but
Not the keywords. It's all about the title.
Because that's one thing I remember watching a video on. They were talking about how to do keyword searching to see what are people actually searching on YouTube. And if you could find something similar that people are actually looking for, like RPG story or RPG sandbox, if that's something that people are actually putting in a lot, maybe that should be the beginning part of your title versus BRP D100.
Barbecue.
Yeah, what's that?
Barbecue titties.
Barbecue titties. Everyone loves barbecue titties.
What kind of fucking search is you running, Freddie?
Definitely going to get a lot of people from Texas.
Yeah. A lot of men from Texas is my guess. Well, honestly, I was thinking about posting all this stuff on Pornhub at some point, but then I was like, I don't really, no. I mean, if they had something else like YouTube, I would go and dump like, I don't know, I think I'm up to approximately 6 terabytes of shit. Just fucking, here you go, onto something else. And they'd be like, gee, thanks. So, yeah. But no, I don't know if renaming anything would really do any good. Plus, the title would be pretty complicated and such. So, I'm not really sure. And plus, even if I did get the, let's say I got 200 more subscribers from renaming it, would it help?
If you had 200 subscribers that weren't players, I would call that a win.
I've got 100 subscribers now. It doesn't help. If I doubled that, it's not gonna help. I'd have to go over 10 times that, and then I would get paid my $4.35
When
a
was
month.
the last time you had a subscriber?
A new subscriber?
Yes.
Community.
That isn't one of us.
Right. Let's see. Subscribers. 1 month.
Really?
Yeah.
Someone new?
Yeah. I don't. It's a guy named Christopher House. I have no idea who that is.
All right. Well.
But like I said, I've got 95 subscribers.
A lot of channels are. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of videos out there to do, YouTube keyword research. I'm sure you've probably seen some of them, but.
Well, yeah, it always comes down to this though, Jay. How much work do I want to put in, and what would I get out of it? The answer is not a whole hell of a lot more, because I'm already spending a lot of time editing and shit. Like if Vince hadn't GM today, I would be less than halfway through my editing now. And what do I get out of it? Even if I had 600 subscribers, nothing. Anything less than 1,000 subscribers, you get 0.
Logan, why don't you just upload the video as a whole?
Well,
It's a long video.
yeah, I mean, he's editing out like a lot of.
I'm editing it and all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I'm happy doing it this way. I realize that not everybody was going to go for this, but I believe that if somebody did get into it, being able to say every fucking day I get a new hour of shit, and I'm 27 months behind, so therefore, pretty much you can listen to this indefinitely.
Mm.
I don't know. I think that I think it's kind of a neat thing that we're going to be up to 2022 soon in scheduling.
By the way, Vince's game, 11 views.
Which, yeah, it's the live thing. Because we get a lot more views on live shit than we do on the scheduled shit. I find this confusing.
Not really.
Why don't you make all your games live?
Because it doesn't want the players to know what's going on.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I want them being at least a year behind. Because that way,
then I'll try listening to the games. Like today, I was listening to parts of it. I really didn't really know what the context of the plot was, but I was listening to bits and pieces.
I loved your comments and stuff. That's one of the things that I kind of do like about the monkey thing is that if people are rolling with their comments for like a live thing or whatever, I can have those pop up into the video itself. And I think it'd be cool if you had like 5 or 6 people who were into it, and one of the guys who was playing was kind of playing, but he's doing the comments and stuff like that, so they're popping in. That'd make it kind of cool. I don't know.
Well, no, if you actually started streaming, there's ways to do it automatically, like all that. Interact with the chat and everything.
Yeah.
But
well, me personally, I'd rather just have it where the chat like comes up and nobody has to pay attention to it, because when you're gaming, you don't want people going, "What's going on in the chat?" You know, I mean, I have enough trouble trying to keep Chris from like looking at his phone and going, "I got mailed another dick pic." Oh, it's Logan. No, I don't want him looking at his fucking phone while he's gaming.
Yeah, I could see it becoming pretty distracting.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I noticed too is when I typed those comments in, it actually took like a couple minutes for them to pop up.
Well, it's because it doesn't pay attention all the time. That's why.
Yeah, that's exactly why it took so long, because it popped up and I was like, blah, 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 blah. Jay said something. Pop it up. You know.
Oh, okay. So you got to manually make it pop up.
That's fucking human error. Yeah, I had to I got no idea how any of this shit works, Jay. Well, that's one of the other things when people are like, you could do this and this with your channel. It's like, dude, I can barely. It took me like months to learn how to do this. Because my brain is not accepting new information, and it's not just the alcoholism. When you get older, new shit is harder.
Yeah, that makes sense. I wasn't sure if that's what you were going for. If you're just posting them for posterity, or if you actually want to try to get viewers, or
honestly, at this point, it's kind of become like posterity and a record of the campaign, because I've always felt bad that a lot of the really amazing scenes that we've had in the past have just been lost forever because we didn't have the technology. Like that time I even tried to record it on fucking cassette tapes because that's what we had. Yeah, that didn't fucking go well. Every half hour there's a loud click and everybody's like, "The fuck was that?" "Oh, new cassette. Flip it over." And that was fucking just... That lasted one session, and I don't know what happened to the cassette player and the tapes after that. I think I just, they're gone now. Plus, it's not a format that you can do anything with, What do you want to do to store it? I want to put it in a shoebox. I mean, that's not fucking helpful. But this way, like, if somebody's feeling nostalgic for a campaign and you kept track of like the title of it, and after a year or two, you were like, "Hey, yeah, I laughed myself silly during that campaign. I want to go back and fucking listen to it and shit." You have the option now.
Well, I like that you can go back and try to remember something that you did, because recently the first game I played in, you posted and I wanted to go. I went back and listened to a couple parts of that because I was trying to remember some of the details.
Well, one of the things that I've noticed happens during the game, because Freddy is freakishly into detail, and so he records the game that he's currently playing in so that he can play it back and see what he did, and he even like reproduces conversations verbatim. And I'm thinking, this is a guy with some time on his hands, and
Yeah, I'm also very lazy, so I tend to skip a lot of shit.
yeah, but still, nobody else is recording in real time for the purposes of going back as soon as the game is done and seeing what happened. Nobody. You're it. So far, this does seem to be working.
It's only because I'm bad at taking notes in real time, so I just do it this way. If I had a choice, yes. I don't take notes in real time, put that.
Did you call him Purple Hat? I like that.
No, I just said it's a hat.
Oh. But if you call him Purple Hat, he won't be offended.
Yeah, I was curious how you were taking your notes.
I used to take them during the game, but it was way too. Like I can't listen and take notes at the same time. It's fucking
Yeah, that's the problem I ran into.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Typing notes, but then someone's talking to me. Huh? What?
Yeah.
I felt sorry for Corey's kid when she was playing, because the whole time it looked like she was in school and there was a lecture going on. She was trying to write down everything. And I was like, hello.
Huh?
Yeah, and then you ask her something and there's more notes, and it's like, and the question for you is, and she'll, that's me. So, yeah. Well, again, this is another niche type of campaign, because most people who are playing D&D are thinking that they're role-playing, when in actuality, many are like tabletop gaming or wargaming with some role-playing elements, because they're moving the character. I move 3 hexes forward and I turn and it uses that, and then I do these devastating attacks, and my penis is huge as well, and I'm blowing up these enemies here within this radius, and now they're making that even more so, where it's like it's a computer screen and the terrain can move with the characters and shit, and then they're getting the 3D holograph shit, and you're like, okay, it's really cool for wargaming, but I'm doing theater of the mind shit, which is again another niche of a niche.
I think it'd be pretty slick when they incorporate that with like virtual reality. People from home can do like a dungeon crawl virtually or something. But what I was going to say about the note-taking thing is this would be a game where it'd be really handy to know how to do the shorthand note-taking. Like, what is that, the stenographers or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, be able to, that'd be a good skill to have.
Honestly, I like Freddy's thing, because it's super easy to record something, and if you think about it, like, let's say you've got like a timer going on your recording.
I do have that.
Right? And then
just make notes of the times you don't want to go back to.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I do.
Yeah, but honestly, the depth of different people's involvement is different. Like some people, like John or Russ, they're just here to have a good time, and they're not reading too far into it, which is fine. But some people are like, I need to set up a business empire that will span the globe and make the West India Tea Company look like fucking nobody. And that takes a different level of fucking, how much detail you put into it. So, yeah. Because I don't think those guys are. I don't think a lot of the guys are stressing about just how detailed of notes they can squeeze out of this fucker. They're just like, woo! Or like even Matt, he said before, I'm a scene guy. I want to make fun scenes, and that's it. Point me at the bad guy. Let me make some fucking jokes, and everything's good.
Yeah, everybody's gonna have a different play style.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I think we've done a hell of a long test on this. What do you guys think? It's so far it's working, but I would like to have a fucking backup for if this goes tits up, because we even tried Discord and it was choppy as fuck the whole way.
I don't know why I did that.
I don't
It was
know.
only me and Jay as well. Everyone else is fine.
Yeah.
It might be a webcam issue. I'm not sure because I know we both have the same webcam. I think.
I don't know. I've got a pretty good webcam. I'm pretty fucking happy with this.
No,
webcam.
yours was fine. It was just me and Jay.
Unfortunately, my webcam's a bit too good looking, and it's showing me that I'm not, which is not fucking helpful at all. I need like Vaseline over the lens so I can look more less distinct.
It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, Chris's webcam that's on his computer here, you know, he looks vaguely Chris shaped, so that's what I need.
Yep, that's him.
Shitty. This is my work laptop.
Right. Okay. Well, do you have any other questions on the film share thing or anything else?
No, not yet. I'm sure once I get into that, I'll have more questions. Now, Alex, you said you use that one too?
I have used it. Not as much as Logan, but I know how to use it, yeah.
He's used it less, but knows more than Logan. Go figure. Yeah, surprise.
Yeah, we're just now starting to do some testing because I had my kid, he's playing on the Nintendo Switch. So I got one of those capture cards and I was able to get all the video to work, but then I wasn't able to get the audio to pull in other than the microphone. So I was able to finally get that sorted out, but now we're at the point where I'm going to start taking some test videos and then start cutting those up and things like that.
So is it just him playing the game, or is it?
Yeah, so the way we do it is I'm using this webcam to capture him as he's playing so you can get kind of his reaction to things. And he came up with an idea. He goes, I want to make my first video, how to make a house in Minecraft. I'm like, cool, there you go. You go into a new little world, he'll set up a world, he'll make a house, and he can talk and be goofy and all that. His reactions and stuff he does is what'll make it kind of funny.
So is your niche going to be like, my 5-year-old shows you to do stuff, or?
Yeah, the idea is it's his gaming channel. His name's Jackson. So I was going to see if the channel name Reaction Jackson was available. The idea is to get his reaction and whether he's playing Minecraft or reacting to other new games. It's just, he wants to do gaming.
If you stress his age, because there's not that many 5-year-olds doing YouTube or anything, like gaming and stuff.
Not like gaming. Like there are like some of the channels he watches, they're like 20-year-olds or teenagers playing Minecraft, but then there's also some young kids that kind of play with their families.
Yeah, but like a proper gaming channel, I haven't seen any of those around. So that might be your thing, maybe?
Well,
I don't know.
Also, you might consider, like, in addition to a YouTube channel, because if I'm not mistaken, you can record, have it on YouTube, but you can also do Twitch.
Yeah.
That's the same.
Yeah, that's something I was going to look into. I don't know about Twitch or TikTok or any of these other platforms, but that's what I was wondering. If I produce the same video, is there any rules against putting that on 2 different platforms at the same time?
Twitch only keeps it for a limited time, so it seems to me that most of the people who are doing Twitch is like the live thing. Like what you could do is record it, have it live broadcasted to Twitch because people fucking love live, and then if you wanted to cut it up into stuff for YouTube or make a best of reel or whatever, you could then do that.
Yeah, that's what people do actually.
Oh.
Yeah, the only limit is for your question about restrictions is, I think if you're affiliated or something with YouTube, or you have like not a partner, but like if you have some sort of special contract that says I only make videos on YouTube.
Exclusivity.
Yeah, but otherwise you just do whatever you want.
Yeah,
Right.
it won't be something to worry about for a while. But also, if he pulls in enough, something to think about, if he starts pulling enough views and stuff, and he starts to make it more big, I don't know, over a few hundred subscribers or whatever. At that point, you could consider setting up a Patreon account. Have you heard about Patreon? And what I would probably do is have him get like 10% of the money or something, and the rest college fund or whatever you think is fit. But it's like, hey, you got to donate at least $10 because I'm only getting $1 because my fucking family is putting it into college and I fucking hate them. So I need to buy this shit and it's going to take $600 for me to get this game. It's only $60, or whatever you choose. I think that'd be hilarious. And another, like, send me to college so that I can buy some games or what. I don't know. There's a lot you can do with it, but a lot of people.
Yeah, you could make it pretty funny, actually. It gives me a lot of ideas.
5-year-old saved for college.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just being 5 years old, half the shit that comes out of his mouth is funny, regardless of what he says.
There you go. The 5-year-old that's forced to save for college. It's like, I don't think it's really going to college because my dad bought a jacuzzi suit. Just whatever kind of weird shit.
Yeah, that would be funny. Like, Dad says this is for college, but I actually think this is what it's for.
Is he used to talking like to himself? Because that's kind of something people develop as a skill.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about that because while I was messing around with OBS, I had the camera on him and I'm watching him play and taking little test videos. He had no idea I was recording him here and there. And I was thinking about that. There's times where it kind of depends on his mood, where maybe he was quiet. And then there's times where he's really hamming it up. So, yeah, I don't know. It'd be a learning process.
He's got the time. I mean, he's 5. There's not a lot of fucking demands for professionalism from 5-year-olds normally. I mean, you could make him wear a tux, which would be hilarious. But
yeah.
Ooh.
Actually, I'd get one. I would probably, if you wanted to make his first one funny for his first thing, get him one of those tuxedo T-shirts. Right? And have him wear that. That'd be hilarious. It's like, I didn't dress myself. Donate money to me so I can buy my own clothes. I can see that.
I'm wearing this because I want to be formal, but I like to party.
Right.
Or dress him up like as an adult, but he's clearly a 5-year-old. And his thing is, I'm an adult.
With the old paperboy hat and little suit. There was a businessman from the 30s.
There was some parent who got really pissed at one of his kids because this kid did something bad. It wasn't like I'm just irritated. No, his kid did something bad. I forget what it was, but it's like, he was being a little shit. What he did was he gave him a haircut that made it look like he was balding.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Oh my God, it was hysterical.
Oh man, that's a good idea right there.
Well,
we're going to do this, but then I'll just shave it and even it out afterwards.
Right. Yeah. If he's in that. But have him in like the suspenders and the old man trousers, make him, and maybe put some gray in his hair and shit.
I'll just a wife beater with suspenders.
There's so much you could do with
glasses.
Horn-rimmed glasses just don't have the glasses part in them and stuff.
That might be a good way to make it kind of go viral in the beginning.
Oh yeah.
It'd be a tough act to follow, though.
Well,
stop shaving my head, damn it.
I think you could pull it off because it seems that your kid's taking after you, and I keep telling you, I think you can fucking make a go of this. And I would love it if you made if this allowed you to have flexibility in your work stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably it would definitely take a lot of time. I think for someone to really make money off of YouTube, make a business out of it, but it could definitely be done.
Well, they've got some sort of channel somewhere on the internet or a site on the internet where if you put in a YouTube address, then it figures out how many hits they have, how many subscribers, and they give you how much they believe that they're making on YouTube. And some of them is 6 figures. I'm not talking about the big ones. I'm just talking about like, that's a well done channel.
Yeah.
And some of the
I've heard that too. It's you don't necessarily need a lot of subscribers. I was looking at this, I don't know, it was like a video or case study on a couple of channels where they only had about 10,000 subscribers. They weren't these people with tens of millions, but they had really quality niche videos, and they were just good at monetizing what little they had. So a lot of it came through AdSense. Kind of like what you were saying, they did something with Patreon where they had the option to do a Patreon or join them through YouTube. And then maybe there was some products that they were selling through affiliate type programs, just had various revenue streams. So someone could have a niche video channel on YouTube and still make pretty decent money, even with a relatively small following.
Well, yeah, I could even see like if your kid, for example, because you seem to be mostly motivated by helping your kid at this point, as opposed to making your own videos and such. Mistake. Make your own bitch. Anyway,
this is the good starting point to learn how to do it, and then I could see kind of my own videos branching off from there.
Yeah, I was thinking also if your kid comes up with like, because when you're making your own thing, if you come up with some sort of logo, eventually you could have it on like T-shirts or whatever, because people like wearing a T-shirt of something that they like. Shit, I'm wearing a fucking Rick and Morty T-shirt right now. But yeah, there's so much that could be done with this. Sure. It just depends on how much do you want to put into it and all that kind of stuff.
No, because I do recognize too, it's the video editing is time consuming.
It is. Well, I'm thinking if your kid's just sitting around doing reaction stuff, in the beginning, if you were to something I would recommend buying is the 4 terabyte storage things.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna need that.
They're like $100 each or less, and I would get one of them immediately, and then you could put stuff on it.
Dump all the video on there.
Yeah. But I'm thinking that a possible strategy for you might be initially, if you were to have him broadcasting it live on Twitch, because that will get him more of an audience. And it's like, and be sure to check out my YouTube channel and then you can have whatever degree of editing for the YouTube channel, but eventually the YouTube channel might be like the best of moments where it's more heavily edited,
right,
or something like that. But
yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I don't know. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, there's a lot you can do with it. I think it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you think about it, this is the first time in human history where YouTuber is a valid occupation.
Right.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, to be essentially in media before this required that somebody my age or older, usually fat like me, had to give you their blessing to be on TV or journalist or whatever.
Right.
And now
it's interesting, like in the news lately, one of the topics has been how some of these podcasters have platforms that have as much or more influence than like mainstream media outlets, like Joe Rogan's podcast, for example. There was that whole big old thing about how he was talking about Bernie Sanders, and it just set off all this controversy that this podcaster's endorsement would have so much influence. And this is just a guy who records conversations and throws them on YouTube.
Well, yeah, as far as also cross promotion stuff goes, if your kid starts getting some traction and stuff, and then he could end up co-hosting a show with another kid or something like. Not all the time, but like get on his show and he gets on his show type thing.
That's one of the things I noticed, like with some of the travel channels and expats in the Philippines. There's a few of these guys that like to travel around the Philippines, and sometimes they'll do stuff together.
Right.
Yeah, or they could just, I'll be a guest on your channel, you be a guest on mine. That way we can cross promote each other and grow that way. Because if somebody's watching your channel, they'll probably watch my channel too.
Yeah.
And I know there's a few channels I've subscribed to. That's how I found them. They were a guest on a channel that I like to watch. And I'm like, oh, this guy's cool. Let me check him out too.
Well, with regards to YouTube, there's a lot of popular channels, and you get on, and the guy has like a super thick accent. He's hard to understand, or they got fucking voice impediments, like a huge lisp or something like that. And I'm like, the fuck is going on? I mean, how in the fuck does this guy have 100,000 subscribers?
But honestly, it might not be a massive impediment, because I think people want authenticity. They want someone genuine. They don't want someone polished like from cable TV. I think they do like.
Have you watched Ricky Berwick? OJ.
No, it doesn't sound familiar.
He has some very funny shit.
What was
Ricky
he podcast
Berwick?
on?
Yeah, Ricky Berwick, yeah.
Was he podcast on?
As soon as you see the video, you'll know why I sent you that.
RICKI?
Oh, yeah, I've seen some of his videos.
RICKI.
I know who that guy is, yeah.
Berwick? Oh, there he is.
Berwick.
Ricky Berwick.
I've seen one or two of his videos in the past.
He just does funny shit all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he's not your, like, typical YouTuber, if you know what I mean.
He's a weird looking fucking dude.
What is that?
Yeah.
But
His
people love
eyes
it.
are
I love
definitely
him.
different directions, too.
I love him. He's so funny.
But yeah, it's like, this guy, he's not some cable TV personality.
Yeah.
He's just a regular dude who's being himself, and people like that.
Yeah, he has tons of subscribers. People watching
1.8 million subscribers.
Yeah. See, I mean, that guy's definitely making a good living off YouTube if he's got that many subscribers.
It should be.
Here's a couple other I thought was interesting. There's this gal in Mexico who lives in a rural area, old woman. She's got to be like 70 or 80. And her whole channel is about cooking with like a mud stove. That's all it's about. It's about cooking food the way they would have 100 years ago. And she's got millions of views and subscribers.
Yeah.
And there's these two dudes in Southeast Asia or India, and they build all these elaborate, like underground, like, I wouldn't call it a home, but that's kind of what it is, like homes and swimming pools. And all they do is use like two rudimentary tools, like a spear to stab the ground and soften it up, and then like a big machete to do some little fine detail. And then they use their hands to dig the dirt out after they've loosened it up. And then they speed the video up so you can watch it in a little 10, 15-minute clip. These guys have millions of subscribers.
Just to listen to you, I'd probably watch that.
I've actually watched a few of them. They're kind of satisfying to watch. There's something interesting about it. I'm just like, my God, there's no narration. They've got a good quality camera. They edit it, and then they speed it up. And it's just really interesting. So I think part of it is just having something niche that's different.
Right.
And just be yourself, People want something kind of genuine. You don't need to be all polished in a studio.
Well, you have to be. You don't have to be personally polished, but you have to have good sound, good lighting.
Oh yeah.
Stuff like that. Like right now, I think this is pretty polished for me right now, but I'm not going to be here in another 3 months. It's like boop somewhere else, boop somewhere else. So
with Logan, he's almost got like a little bit of a green screen effect going on, like especially when it's smaller, it almost just looks like a floating head with a gray background because he's got the gray shirt and gray background.
Oh yeah, well, that's one of those cool things that you might get into eventually, and that's a whole different programming thing that I don't know anything about. But there's a lot of YouTube videos on how to do the green screen. And stuff like that. Like, what's his name? I'm sure you've seen him. He does a gaming podcast. Hold on, let me look up his name real quick for you, because he actually did. I remember I think he did a podcast on a very basic how to do green screening that might be a great introduction for you.
I wouldn't go into that just yet.
No, but I mean, Jay likes to look at I'm just talking like view the YouTube video and go, oh, how about that? Manage. Hold on a second. I will find this asshole's name. I know you've seen him before.
I mean, even this. Well, I can try.
No, that's not him.
Does this button work?
No, it does not.
Oh.
Yep.
No, it does. Yeah. But even this can blur your background.
I don't like that myself. I prefer to see a crisp
that's interesting.
background.
Yeah.
So what did you do to do that?
The three little dots on the bottom right. Just click blur background.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Seth Sorkowski.
Oh yeah.
I think one of his videos is on how he does, because he always puts those cool scenes in the background and shit, you know, with the NPCs and stuff. I'm Jack the NPC, you know. So
yeah, I think what he's doing is just taking extra videos and putting them together. I don't think he does anything with green screens necessarily.
He does, because when he's Jack the NPC and he has the cool background behind him, I think, unless I'm getting confused, because he has to have that cool background. I don't think he's having moving pictures in it, but he puts a background behind him.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of the other players at his table. I think.
That's him just acting different things. But I mean, for like when he is. Hold on, I'll find one for you here. There it is. Here, I'll send this to you on Facebook.
That's funny because I was just watching a couple of his videos yesterday. I actually subscribed to his channel.
I figured you'd seen him before. I like him, but he's not all of his videos are really super relevant to me. What I was thinking of on that page that I just sent you, where it's the home thing, the third video over where it shows him in the goofy space helmet thing, and then the background is a whole bunch of shit. That shit in the background, I think, is done through green screen.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Doesn't he record some of his games then? Is that what those are from? Or he does like a highlight of it or something?
Well, yeah, he may tell the stories about it, but I mean, I don't think I've never seen any of those other players or anything.
Gotcha. Yeah, some of those videos I haven't watched yet where he does. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I haven't seen any of these. I've just seen like some of his more basic stuff. Like,
yeah. I mean, I think that'll be an eventually thing, because I'm beginning to understand your strategy, because I think you're using your kids' stuff as like you're learning.
Checks in my skills.
Yeah. So that's cool. But yeah, for you, eventually, I could see like if you were talking about stuff and then you've got like, for example, Philippine background or whatever, you know, without actually being out in the heat and the fucking wind and the traffic and all that, you just got a cool still of a Philippine thing.
Yeah, maybe. I think it could be hard to see doing like a bunch of videos like on the Philippines unless I went there more often. I think more likely what I would do is like your idea for like the letters to my children. Like that's a good concept for a channel.
Oh my God, your kids would fucking, if they knew it was me that suggested it, they'd be like, can we have him for dinner? And you'd be like, you're not cannibals. And they would say.
But that's part of what I was telling you about how like inserting the.
Oh, Jay just froze up and died.
Video clip of my.
You froze up and died.
Yeah,
last word was
the same thing on my side. You froze up too. All right, am I back?
Yeah.
No, I started taking little video clips of my kids in certain situations, like where they don't even know I'm recording them, where I could take the little second of one of them screaming or in the middle of crying or
that's
acting
brilliant.
out.
Brilliant.
So you could take little scenes of them laughing, screaming, crying, insert it here, like, okay, yeah, there's so much you can do with that. And then the other idea that would work is just related to my work is having something related to that's geared towards small business owners, because small business owners, one day they're going to exit their business somehow, right? Whether they're going to sell it or whether they're just going to shut it down and liquidate the assets.
Well,
every business owner needs to plan to sell one day, right? So that's the other concept for a channel that I could easily come up with a ton of content for. Lots of little 10-minute videos.
Just don't give away your secrets, because
well,
then he'll be out of a job.
Well, if he's out of a job and
Because,
into a YouTube career, I think that's a fair trade.
No, I mean, no, you bring up a good point, because that's actually, there's like different schools of thought on that. My approach is to actually, I'll give out most of the information I know to a seller, because the real reason a seller or a business owner would hire me is because, one, they want access to my list. I have an email list of everyone I've spoken to since 2005. So when I send out an email blast, it goes out to thousands of people. So there's people I know already that I could reach out to. And two, they don't have the time. Like, I can tell you exactly what to do, but if you're running a business, do you really have the time to go out and do my job as well? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But the idea is that there's far more people that would want my advice than want me representing them as a broker. Yeah. Plus, a lot of business owners, what they fail to do is start preparing for the eventual sale 2 to 3 years in advance. Like, most of the people that call me, they're like, I need to sell tomorrow. I'm going through a divorce, or I'm ill, and they're forced to sell and they never got their business ready. And most of those people, I tell them I can't help them. But, a channel that's geared around people getting their business ready to sell, a lot of business owners are interested in that. They go to seminars for that kind of stuff all the time, to figure out how to maximize the value of their business and how to make sure it's actually sellable. Because there's a lot to think about.
On your Philippine channel that comes to mind is I would actually start recording stuff for it now, because before I started traveling, I had a lot more hits on my blog and when I first started traveling and didn't know shit, was making mistakes and stuff, because it's a lot more relatable to talk to a guy who it's like, I've been to the Philippines like 3 times, and I'm still learning shit there. I drove there once. That's much more relatable to the layperson than the, hi, I've been everywhere, I've done everything, I speak fluent Tagalog.
That's interesting.
That's really outside of the thing. And if you're getting together stuff now, then it's like we are exploring this together, and that's more because you have to consider your audience. Of 1,000 subscribers, for example, how many do you think are actually going to leave the U.S.? Right. Assuming they're Americans, the answer is 20 to 30%. Of that 20 to 30%, so we're looking at, a couple hundred people. Of that couple hundred people, how many are actually going to go to Southeast Asia? Call it less than half, maybe half. So now we're down to 150 or whatever. How many of those are actually going to go to the Philippines? Well, Thailand's still a big draw, so call it 50 people. So
right.
I really think that being the guy who is learning about it rather than the guy who knows about it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, eventually you'll become the guy who knows about it, but.
Yeah, like if I knew I wanted to retire there or semi-retire there, the whole idea of planning and what are the things you got to think about? Can you own land? Can you own a business?
Right.
What's it cost?
Because plus it's a natural progression. It's like, hey, I've been to the Philippines a couple times. I'm getting ready to go again. I thought I'd bring you guys with me virtually. And then it's like, while you're there, it's like, I wouldn't mind retiring here someday. And then later it's like, phase 1, getting to know the Philippines. Phase 2, what's needed to actually move there and retire? Phase 3, I'm retired in the Philippines. Here's the stuff that I'm going through. So you've got a natural progression and everything.
All right.
3-part play.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Would you watch a channel like that?
What kind of stuff do you enjoy doing, Jay?
Well,
what do you do for fun?
Back in the old days, before he was married, it was a list. Now it's his kids and the game.
Yeah,
I change diapers and game a couple times a month. I'm pretty boring now. Yeah, that's why it's like I work. I take care of my kids, and every few years I go to the Philippines.
I'm assuming you're not allowed to film while you work.
I'm going to say that again?
I'm assuming you're not. Amazon, shut up. I'm assuming you're not allowed to work. You're not allowed to film while you're working.
Film while I'm working? Well, yes and no. Like my clients wouldn't want me filming while I'm meeting them, that's for sure, because everything I do is confidential. People can't know about my clients until they've signed off on non-disclosure agreements. So I can't have videos of my clients. But I could have videos of me talking. Like I could be doing a combination of screen sharing, like how do I figure out how much your business is actually making, and taking them through their profit and loss statement or tax returns to show them what the actual value is and stuff like that. I could show.
Well, for certain things, you could also get a guy who is like, after you've built up stuff, making that assumption that, you're going somewhere with it, you could get the guy who is like, hi, I'm interested in selling my business. He's not. He's basically an actor or whatever, or, some guy that has some chemistry,
Yeah, well, the one reason I like that is an idea too, because I mainly work as someone who sells their business for a commission, much like a real estate broker would, right? But there's also a market for people that are willing to pay for the consulting to get the business ready. Now, a channel with a bunch of content that would attract people around this would allow me to potentially work with consulting clients around the country. I'm only licensed to collect a commission in Illinois. It's actually illegal for me to do my job in other states unless I go and blah, blah, blah. But there's no reason I can't help someone sell a business in California for a consulting fee. And a video would actually help reach people like that. Because most of my marketing efforts are focused around finding people locally here in my community through like networking groups that I'm part of. And most of my clients come from actual referrals from other professionals who know me, like in person. Starting a YouTube channel based around some kind of topic that you have expertise in allows you to parlay that into almost a consulting type of business that would reach an audience that you normally wouldn't. So that's something I could do to monetize what I know, and be able to do it completely from home. Because eventually I could see myself shifting more into that, where I'm not out driving all the time, going to see people's businesses and meeting with the clients. If I could find a way to replace my income and do all that consulting, I could do it from the Philippines. I could do it from here. I could have a YouTube channel with that content. That's where I see the real power of it, because you could get money from the AdSense, yes, but the real money might be like, hey, I like this guy. I actually want to hire this guy for a couple grand, and they might get like 6 coaching sessions out of me, and I'm going to help them figure out what their business is. I'll take them through the process of all they need to know. And it's a way for me to monetize it where I can just do everything from home.
Well, I got 2 thoughts. First, as soon as we get done with this conversation, don't repeat what it is. As soon as we get done with this conversation, you need to immediately go and register your YouTube channel for your kid, because I just realized you gave out the name during a live broadcast. So you're going to fucking need to do that.
No, you're right. I've been thinking that myself. You're absolutely right. I agree.
Thank you. The second thing, if you click the link I just sent you in your thing here, I'll send it to Freddie too, because I don't want him to go, what link? There's the link. It's a podcast I listen to called No Such Thing as a Fish, right?
Yeah, no, fuck that. I love this.
And
yeah, I've never heard of that.
It's a fun, like, here's a lot of facts podcast and stuff.
Okay.
But if you look at the thing on it, if you were to go to, like, for example, hold on a minute, let me just find it, because it was on the thing that I wanted you to see, and then I think it went somewhere else. Their podcasts, what they do is they combine up certain podcasts, and then you buy it for like anywhere from 99 cents to $2.99 or something like that on one of the podcasts. And so I really think that if you can get the right kind of podcasting thing, because with your business thing, this is actual valuable information that people would pay for, because and I don't think it'd be for a right away thing, but one of the possible revenue streams, because it's all about, as you already know from reading Robert Kiyosaki, it's all about fucking multiple streams of revenue. You could eventually have it where you can turn your recorded thing into a podcast, like doing it the same way I do, because when I record it as one, it takes very little time to make a MP3 file, as you saw. Like, I'll make the MP3 file first because it takes very little time. Then while it's baking on the MP4 file and taking an hour or whatever, then I'm doing other shit and come back to it. And then you can just store away the MP3 files for later, and eventually find a podcast thing and like have it released. And then if they want to get it later and it's only up for a limited time or something and on your website, and then if they want it later, it's like you can listen to season 5 or whatever, whatever's current. But if you want seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4, each one costs $2.99 or something like that as a bundle. So you get hours of shit for very low money, because a lot of people like to listen to podcasts because it's while the hands are busy and the mind is idle type deal, commuting to work or whatever. So that's something else to consider, plus books, all that kind of shit.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot of topics I have where I could actually create some content that people would actually find useful. So I mean, that's definitely one of them. And
totally disagree. I can see, Jay. I can actually see you having a fucking book, stories to my kids, pictures in there, and fucking funny saying. It's like, did you ever see the best-selling book, Shit My Dad Says?
Yeah, I think so.
It
sounds familiar.
It was somebody who talked crazier, stupider shit than I do, and is a bestseller, Jay. You make more sense. You actually have valuable life lessons. You have funny fucking stories. You have cool anecdotes, all that shit. You got charisma that you can pour into it. And, I mean, I can see it being YouTube, MP3, book, all kind of bullshit.
Yeah. I agree with that. That's what I really meant was that there's only 2 or 3 things I think that I can think of off the top of my head that where it's like, okay, how much do I actually have enough content I could draw upon, and like your idea with like the letters to my children kind of thing, doing something based on like my family and stuff like that is a good idea. That's one of them. Everybody I've told about it, like my wife and my mother, I told her about it. They all think it's a great idea.
Who would watch those videos?
What's that, Alex?
Who would watch those videos?
Parents.
I would think parents and grandparents. Anybody with kids, grandkids, I think might be interested in that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Plus, here's the other thing I learned about is the older your demographic, the more likely you can make money off AdSense through YouTube, because the older the demographic, the more those clicks are worth.
Yeah.
Because like old timers, they're looking for, they have income.
Yeah.
Versus if a channel is dedicated towards like 5 and 10-year-olds, they don't have much money, so those clicks are worth less. So you really want to be making money off that kid's parents or grandparents. But no, I mean it's a good question to ask: is who is my audience?
Yeah, but I mean, even if you never got an audience except for your immediate family, it still pays off.
No, I mean, just the idea that this is something my kids might appreciate in the future, that alone is enough to make it intriguing.
I mean, for example, if your grandfather had made a series of podcasts or whatever, or great-grandfather, would you check it out?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably would.
He's dead now. I don't care. I mean, of course you would.
Yeah, even if the quality wasn't good, you're right. It's probably something that I would listen to just to get those glimpses to learn. Yeah. You never know what little nugget you're going to hear that's like, oh, well, shit. That kind of fills in the gap to that story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, or even like, imagine if your great-great-grandson was fucking feeling suicidally depressed, and he was like, I'm going to go listen to great-great-grandfather Jason shit, and it got him through it.
Yeah,
you don't fucking know. You don't know how far it's going to go.
You're absolutely right. That's, sometimes people, things will resonate with them, when it's least expected.
Yeah. So, well.
Yeah, all right. Pretty interesting stuff.
I've sucked up
So let me ask you, like if you're creating a YouTube channel, is there a way to create it with can I go reserve a channel, or do you have to create a whole new account from scratch, or do you guys know offhand?
What do you mean?
He wants to go make a YouTube channel so he can get that name and all that.
It's like a 1-minute thing.
Oh, make a 1-minute video?
No. All you need is a Gmail address, because you need a Gmail account. And then you go on YouTube, you register the account, and that's it. That's your account. Have fun.
There you go.
It doesn't take very long. You might not have any content, but you'll have the account.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, if I needed to sign in with a new email address or something first.
It's your son's account. Actually,
I mean, it's going to be based around it. Yeah, I can just use my existing account. I don't see why not.
I would probably register a new Gmail address. This is something I've learned through experience. Always make new shit.
No, hold on, I'm sorry. You can create a YouTube account and have several different channels.
You can, but you might not want them linked for reasons we don't know in the future, and making a new Gmail address, a new Gmail email, very little fucking effort. You can make it does your kid have a nickname?
Not really. I'm going to call him Jackson or Jack.
I would probably do something like actionjackson@gmail.com or something like that. Something that's a little bit funny, but he won't get fucking sick of too quick. And then you can run it until you feel like giving it to him to run, for example. The email address. That way it's not your email address, because I don't know how difficult it is to separate one of the YouTube accounts off of your shit.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of wondering is can I create the channel under my email and then later move that channel over to a different email?
You're running into pain in the ass shit there. That's why I'm saying make a new email. Just it'll take you 2 minutes or less to just pop out a new email.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I was thinking, if I'm going to be the one managing it for a while, I could just put it in mind, but then later
I'm going to save you hours of time on customer service calls by just telling you to make a new email. Let's go with that. Right? Hours of your time is worth something to you, I'm sure.
Yeah, just do a new email.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just sitting on the fucking phone. Oh, we're going to have to put you on hold while we figure this all out, and maybe tell you no, maybe tell you yes. Could do either way. Just sit on hold for another 3 hours and 45 minutes. Yeah, make a new email address, Jay.
Yeah, that's not that difficult, so you should be fine.
Yeah, Logan can figure it out. You've got this. Seriously, that's the low bar standard I have. If Logan can figure it out, I figure pretty much anybody can at this point. If Logan can't, then most people might. So, I don't really hold a high bar on my computer processing ability.
No, they'll be fine. Don't worry.
Yeah. But yeah, I do that right away. And then I like the idea that you're recording the kids and shit doing different, because it's like, I love you guys, and then a clip of the kid just fucking throwing a tantrum. Sometimes, different tantrum. And you're like, it's a little tough.
Yeah, because I'm like explaining, I could be explaining something, it'd be totally mellow, and then all of a sudden there's this insert of a kid screaming their head off. I'm going to see if I could show you an example here.
That would be fucking great.
But I'm like, man, there's so much content I potentially have already, and don't even realize it. Let's see.
I'm gonna hit the restroom real quick because I tried holding it,
Sure.
but
What is that?
See if I can turn the autoplay off. See, like.
Are you all done? Oh, that's adorable.
So I could like clip a little something like that out that's kind of funny or cute or whatever, and just insert that. So that's why I was like, I gotta record when the inspiration strikes. Like, here's my my boy. He's blowing on this little trumpet thing he's got. So taking like a little 1 second piece out of that. I mean, just little funny things that accumulate. That could be,
yeah.
The kid in the middle of a meltdown. Like, just remember in the future when your kid starts to act like this.
And it could be like your advice, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Does this.
Like, just remember when your kid's acting like this. Take a deep breath. So yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff that could be done.
I think you have a lot of potential. Just need to hone in on it and decide what you want to do.
Yeah, that's why I think it's like doing the video game thing with my kid. It's something he and I can do together, and I can kind of teach him. And he seems.
If you do like a teaching my 5-year-old to be a professional gamer or something, that could be interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So, and just have like over the years how they progress and develop their skills and.
Yeah, that's interesting. But part of what it is too, because I like computer gaming. And as he gets older and more comfortable with PCs and stuff, it could actually be the kind of thing where I'm recording him, but at the same time, we're doing like a co-op game where I'm actually in the game playing with him, but I'm just recording him being a goofball. Like even with the Minecraft, for example, I found out, I think it works cross-platform. So he could be playing on his Nintendo Switch, but I could be playing on my computer, and it's a way for me to still play the game with him, even though we're only recording him. What I was saying, Logan, is that like with the gaming thing is some games are cross-platform, and I think Minecraft is. So my kid could be playing on his Nintendo Switch and being recorded, but I could be in there with him playing Minecraft in his little world on my PC, but we're just kind of recording him. But in the game, you might see my avatar, my character, and we could be doing something together.
Can you play with somebody on that platform when you're...
Yeah, Minecraft is one of those games. I was surprised because I looked it up and I was like, "Wow, that's pretty neat."
Well, something else that may happen in the future, And I'd like to get Freddie's opinion on this also, because I don't watch as many gaming channels as I suspect he might. I'm not sure on that. But if he ever gets into reviewing other games, I'm wondering if like this is my Minecraft channel and this is my other game channel or whatever.
Yeah, well, yeah, it depends. Do you want it to be a variety channel or a one game only channel?
My thought is a one game only channel, and then cross promote yourself within your own thing would be better. That's my thought, but I don't know.
A one game only would be like a specialist thing, you know?
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like,
whereas variety would be more about, it would be less about the games themselves and more about the personality.
yeah, it's more, but like in my case, I'm thinking multiple, just because he's got a short attention span. He's got other games, so part of the concept is getting his reaction, so I could see like, okay, here's my reaction to the new game that I got.
If you play, I just saw something really evil. If you made him play, or not made him, but if you suggested to him, hey, play this really, really difficult game, and get his reaction from that.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Or
like bleeping out swearing, even if he's not.
Yeah. Or if you can get Joy to sign off on it, get him like one of those jump scare games to get his reactions. Like I said, if she signs off on it, because I don't want to be told, Logan, you broke my kid. He doesn't sleep anymore. He's got PTSD. I don't need that. he's only comfortable. He's dressed as a soldier from the Vietnam War. No, but actually, shit, you could get him a little fucking helmet and a flak vest and shit.
That's an awesome idea too. Give him little props. That'd be one of them.
Are you actually writing any of these down?
The businessman. I'm not writing down the costume idea.
Every time you say it's a great idea, I'm surprised you're not writing it down. I mean, you can go back and like fast forward through the video. It'll be up on my website. But
you know what, Jay? I would be genuinely, because I just finished playing this game myself. I would be genuinely interested to see a 5-year-old play Undertale. If you
Undertale?
Yeah.
Is that a scary one?
No, it's it's like a puzzle game-ish, but it's more. It's a puzzle game, but it's more of a. I'm assuming Jackson knows how to read, right?
Yeah, he's learning basic.
Okay. All right, so it's basically. What's the closest game I can think of? Oh, do you know what a bullet hell is?
Bullet hell?
Yeah, it's where you have like a bunch of stuff on the screen flying at you, and you need to react to dodge.
Like dodge it?
Yeah.
Like Galaga or something?
Kind of. I would suggest watch it quick.
I'm really dating myself, aren't I?
Yeah.
Watch a quick demo of the game to get an idea.
Okay.
But it's
Undertale.
Undertale, yeah. It's one of the most popular games that have come out.
Yeah.
It's a little bit depending on the choices you make, because it's a choice kind of game. You have choices you can make, which shape the ending. It can be a bit dark thematically, but not like violent or anything, if you know what I mean. Just check it out. I don't know what kind of.
Yeah, if you have other things like that, just send me a message. Let me know, because that's the idea, is that get his reaction to different games and stuff.
I think he'll enjoy it. I genuinely, I'd be very interested to see a 5-year-old play that game.
It'd be funny to get their reaction.
Adults struggle to play that game. He might be a savant or something.
That would be funny if he went in and was like kicking ass.
Yeah.
This is easy.
I just thought something funny. If you ever do get him dressed up as a GI and you've got like plastic hand grenades hanging off him, tell him if he gets really angry at the game to just throw one at it. Like throw it toward the camera generally, but not hit the camera, and then you can cut in like a big explosion in the background.
Right. Yeah.
How cool
I'd
would
love
that
to do
be?
stuff like that, little sound effects and stuff, or even him like put the little smacking sound effect in.
They have lots of different free sound effects on YouTube
yeah.
and the internet and all that shit.
I could see him like he says something like he's reacting, but I bleep out part of it like he's swearing, and you hear me in the background. Hey, watch your mouth.
Well, that's another good question before you get too started, because you have a house full of motherfucking people, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is how Logan terms families. A house full of motherfucking people.
We got a lot of motherfucking people in here. Whole lot of motherfuckers.
But does he have a quiet enough, uninterrupted enough place to actually make recordings and have them be like you're in a place where you've got professional quality because it's quiet and stuff.
Yeah,
you don't
it would be in this room because it has to be all run through my computer anyway.
Okay.
So I'm like setting him up a little corner where he can play his game. I can put my webcam up to get him. Yeah. He's got a little chair, a little dock for his Nintendo Switch up here and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
okay.
That would be the downside is
your office is fucked. Yeah. Unless he makes enough money.
Yeah. Can he play like when we're not on the phone or something like that? So yeah, there's going to be certain times he can do it, certain times he can't.
Well,
because he's not quite old enough to do all that shit on his own yet.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, there's also different stuff like soundproofing an area is less expensive than people think, and there's
like
a lot
putting the stuff on the wall, like at least in the corner that he's set up in, that kind of thing.
Well,
I'll see that sometimes in the background. Like I don't know if their whole room is soundproofed like that.
It is. You need the whole. It's an all or nothing deal with soundproofing.
Yeah, I don't see you do anything like that anytime soon, but I could at some point.
If he ended up making a couple grand on the game, I would fucking take that and soundproof his ass somewhere.
I mean, if it actually turned into something where he had a lot of subscribers and was making some money, then it would make sense to set up like a little proper room for it.
Consider me and Logan your first subscribers.
I ain't fucking watching that shit. Are you kidding me?
Here's the other thing I don't know if you guys know about this, like if this affects the ability of a channel to get monetized or growing subscribers. But one concern with a channel that's based around a kid personality is like the comment section. Like, if I were to just deactivate the comment section, because I don't want to have to manage the comment section. What if he wants to go in and see what people are then you got to worry about all the creeps and shit. People that are just psychos that like to talk nasty. And, 5-year-olds aren't ready for that stuff.
No.
So if I were to just disable the comments, does that hurt you?
Yeah, because people want to feel like they're a part of something. What I would recommend doing is I would go, because there's other young people like 10 or younger. I would go check out their comment section, and I would probably even write them and go, hey, I've got a kid who's going to be doing this picture with you and the kid to prove that you're not just like, hey, I'm fucking working you over. And I was wondering, how do you manage the comment section, and give them those same things that you just told and said, does somebody manage this for you? Because people, if you can't comment on a video right there, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
The only videos
I've seen some channels where they've got a ton of subscribers and views, but the comments are disabled.
I bet you they didn't start off that way.
Yeah, you can be right about that. It could be the kind of thing where, because that's one of my concerns, is getting a video, and naturally he's going to want to go check it out. And, 5-year-olds aren't ready for people acting like assholes online.
Honestly, I think in managing my comment stuff with a very low amount of people. I mean, at first you're gonna be having to pull the weeds, but once you block certain people, or one of the things you can have with the comments is that you have, like, I have it made so that I read them first, and if I'm okay with it, then I allow it.
Okay.
That's pretty quick and easy.
Yeah. Because I get how like engagement is part of the excitement. Because a lot of these guys, they're talking about, hey, comment below, give me an idea. Because that might give you a good idea of what kind of content to do next.
I don't think they do it for that reason. I think they do it because I think it's for the same reason people are into live games, is they want to feel like they're having an influence, they're part of something. The same reason people get into fucking sports, even though it's young multimillionaires playing kids games, right? They feel that they're part of it, even though they're not in any way, because they watch it on TV.
Then you don't listen.
They're watching on TV. The athletes don't get any money. The people who hire them don't get any money.
Energy.
Yeah, the athletes don't know that. They just know that they have like X million views, you know. But I don't know. I think you can make it so that all the comments are awaiting approval as the default, and then
until you get really popular, and you have like thousands of comments. Then
yeah,
it'll be
then it becomes like a what are you going to do? But to start with, I just have it like where you have to approve the comment before it gets published, and
yeah, I think that's fine.
Go with that.
Yeah.
Don't give the kid admin access. Within a couple of years, he'll figure out how to hack it from you anyway.
That's true.
Yeah. At that point, he's ready to take over the channel, right?
Right.
When you can hack this, son. When you can snatch the pebble from my hand or hack your own account, you're ready. Yeah.
Cool.
We'll warp view on this shit, I know. But, yeah. For those watching, if you'd like to see Jay's kid playing video games or Jay telling you how to sell your business and stuff, tell him to hurry up in the comment section below and getting these channels made. Thanks for tuning in.
Screw you, Jason.
That'd be awesome. I'd like that Sasha Cohen guy to comment. He's like, very good.
Is my camera on?
Nope. Hasn't been on in a while. I figured you were.
Actually, you've been on for a little while. I figured you were.
Nope.
I figured you were getting a sponge bath or something.
No.
Oops.
I
clicked the wrong button. Hold on. No. I clicked the wrong. How do I click this back off?
I've not pressed anything.
This button.
I just went on onto YouTube to
Did
check.
you spit on your camera?
No.
It's still off.
I can see myself.
We can't. We see a big A.
It just shows up as an A.
How about now?
No, now you're back.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I wonder if Chris got hit by a forklift or something.
No, he sent me a message. He had to do some work shit.
Logan, did you turn yours off?
No.
I can't see you.
Jay, can you see me?
Yeah, I can see both of you right now.
The fucking problems begin with this goddamn thing, Freddie.
It took 2 hours to give it a good test.
Can you see me, Freddie?
Can't see Logan.
I can totally see you.
Just give it a moment, because when I was not showing up earlier and I switched something, it like all of a sudden 30 seconds later it popped up. Like,
maybe, okay. Oh, wait a second.
Like it'll probably refresh in a second.
I think it may have been because I was playing with my camera settings on my end, and I did something to just didn't like.
Yeah,
because you've been like that for like 15 or 20 minutes.
I didn't even know. Like, what the hell? I went on YouTube and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I don't know. I would like to avoid spending $240 a year, but I'm thinking that it's starting to look like I'm going to be spending $240 a year.
No, don't do that.
Well,
turn your camera on and off.
Me?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can figure out how to do that. There it is.
It's at the bottom.
Boogity. No?
No.
It's on your end.
Yeah. You went away and came back right away when you did it on mine.
Alright, I'm going to reload a couple times. It's just good to test now before we... Okay, now I see an L.
Boogity.
For Logan.
Yay, Logan.
But nothing else. Alright, let me reload.
He'll probably pop up in a second.
I can see Jason fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, earlier when you guys didn't see me, I did stop recording, start, and then I could see me, but then like 30 seconds later, you guys saw me. Like it needed time to load or something.
Huh. Weird. What if I do this? That doesn't do anything.
The goggles, they do nothing.
I don't know why I don't see them. I'm gonna try a different browser.
Jay's background's all semi-blurry.
All blurry.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that looks horrible, but yeah. It's like, your camera's only semi-broken. Yay.
Yeah, it creates some kind of weird effects on the edges. It makes
Yeah.
it kind of strange.
Exactly.
It's my residual self-image.
Holy shit,
Oh,
I
no,
got
I see
double
two of
Freddy.
It's a pattern ghost.
No.
I still can't see Logan.
Weird.
Right.
Weird. I'm gonna close this one.
I don't know what to...
Let's see if my doing something will jostle it. Okay, I stopped and started.
I see you.
Oh, I think you're muted now, Alex.
Yes, I forgot to do that. Sorry. I see a giant L for Logan. That's it.
Weird.
Should I try reloading?
Yeah, try reloading. It's still. There we are. Okay. I see you now.
Yep.
I don't see Jason.
Didn't see me. Okay, let's give it a few seconds.
Got it. Yeah, this is the same bullshit that was adversely affecting the thing in the Roll20.
Yeah, it seems like the weakness here in Jitsi is that people can get out of sync.
Try reloading, Jay, maybe.
Okay, stop and start.
No,
I mean, I just, up at the top of the page, I hit the reload this page curvy arrow thing.
Ah, gotcha.
I see Jay, I see
I
Freddy.
see him. Yay. All
Okay.
right, cool.
Well,
Maybe it's the thing where when that happens, everybody needs to reload.
yeah, but see, the thing is with Roll20, we went through that game for what, half an hour of, I'll try reloading. You both try reloading. Everybody try just you try reloading.
That was at 15 minutes, yeah.
Fucking felt like 3.5 years. I mean, yes, it's better than the old days, but I mean, we're in 2020. This is cyberpunk era. We are now in official cyberpunk era. Where's my fucking false arm? Where's my Mr. Stud? They are not here.
Yeah. But that might mean that Skynet's about to take over.
It might be an improvement from the Trump administration.
Boom!
Yeah. Actually, it probably would. Both are out to destroy the world. Skynet has more class. And less racism. It just hates humans. Not certain humans, all humans. Better, right? Skynet's woke.
Skynet's woke.
I don't know. I would say, Freddie, that we can try this, but I would really like to have an alternative in case this one dies like it did before.
So how about this? When you guys game next Thursday, maybe try starting with this, and like if it starts acting weird, just go to Roll20, and then you got a decision make whether you want to pay for StreamYard.
I would start with Roll20 first, and if that doesn't work, go to this.
Yeah, although I
thought Roll20 did work. You just had to mess with it for 15 minutes.
Only for today's session. Otherwise, it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, so you guys started on Roll20 today, and then went over to StreamYard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Although, honestly, the StreamYard quality seems pretty fucking good.
It is. It's the best one. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I mean, considering how much you game in a year,
I'm starting. The sticker shock is starting to slowly recede because
and I know you don't want to ask people for money and change the dynamic, but there's, I think some people might be willing to chip in a few bucks.
It's not. It's
no,
not.
no strings attached kind of thing. No
Yeah.
special treatment.
Honestly, because money always queers the deal, to use old timey slang.
Here's the deal. I like that.
That's a super old. I'm
Here's
old
the
enough.
deal. You see.
Exactly. I'm thinking that I will just end up sucking it up because
No. Resist the dark side, Logan. Do not
dude,
pay
if
money.
it gives me a better game, I'm willing to fucking do something for it.
That's what they want, Logan.
Oh, I know what they want is my fucking money. I know they want my fucking money. That's their whole deal in life. They wouldn't have made the fucking platform if they didn't want my goddamn money. They'd have fucking just sat at home and jacked off if they didn't want my money. But instead, they made the platform, and it seems to be working better than anything else we got. See? So.
I'm kind of curious, though, about Discord, if that would... If we could find out why the cameras were going on and off randomly.
Well, it was almost like they would just it flickered so often. It was almost like one of the old 1910s movies.
But it was only specific people, so I think it might be something to do with their setup. It was me and Jay.
Right, but see, I have no control over other people's setups, and I think it would cost me more money to send them decent gear than to
No,
just
I think
suck
it might be a simple fix. I just don't know what the issue is. If I can find what the issue is, we might be able to fix it. But, without further testing, I don't really know.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've covered a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that Jay fucking goes back and gets some notes on this shit. You can listen to stuff at like 2, 4, or 8 times the normal speed, Jay.
I have never tried that.
I think that since you're not used to doing it, there's some people who listen to apparently the gaming sessions at that kind of speed because the brain can analyze stuff like many times faster than you're actually speaking it.
Yeah.
But I think if you're wanting to go back and actually get all the ideas down that you're like, that's a good idea, because you said that like 20 times.
Yeah, I started writing down the major ones there. Yeah, actually, while we were talking, I set up a new Gmail account.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that there's a lot of fucking potential. Unfortunately, potential, I have learned in my long ass life, is just in their way of saying you haven't done shit yet. Get on it. People don't like hearing that. It's like, you've got potential, kid. That means you haven't done shit yet. Get on it.
You suck.
Right. They have the potential to do good, but on the other hand, most people do. They just don't. So, yeah. But I think that you have enough good reasons to do good. So, and yeah.
Yeah, appreciate that. But yeah.
Yeah, don't suck.
The pressure.
Well, plus it'll be interesting because you can also get on and like if you're wanting to reminisce with the people you've known for a while and stuff, and it goes into that channel and war stories and stuff. I think that would be a sideline thing though. I wouldn't have nearly as many of those, like 1 in 10 or something, but because the main thing will just be for the stories for my kids or wherever, it will be, you should go register that fucking site to different Gmail address. No, don't even think about should I do it, just make it happen.
I just officially set up the channel, Reaction Jackson.
Cool. For the stories for my kids, you go storiesformykids@gmail.com, and then boom, new thing. And I mean, you could have all the passwords be the same, so you don't fuck, or write them down so you don't go, what the fuck was the password for that bullshit? I'm locked out of my account again. God damn it.
So many goddamn websites to keep track of.
Yeah, but for that, I think the poll on that would be you talking earnestly into a camera for 9 minutes at a time. close frame up. Possibly every now and then you could change the camera angle if you felt like it. Like this is the distance you've got it now is a good gesticulation angle. If you're wanting to, do stuff with your hands, or if you're wanting to make it like heartfelt, like, I'm pouring out my soul, go for the tight close up or whatever. Yeah, I can see all that.
Hmm.
So who knows? Because again, you don't know where this shit's gonna go. You could be on fucking Oprah going, I was sitting around with, Freddie. His name's not really Freddie, but
Oh yeah, and I've got tons of video content. I can go capture all kinds of flattering clips of Logan and anyone else. These are the guys that gave me the idea and have Logan.
Yeah, that'd be fucking hilarious.
You can use this very video.
We'll have to get like a little video clip of Logan in front of the camera, like standing doing like pelvic thrusts, like like, this was the inspiration for this channel.
I just see, thank you for coming on, Mr. Pittman. It's such a heartwarming thing. And in the background, she'll be, it's like, why is that kid playing?
Who is that? That's one of the executive producers.
Oh, yeah. If you start making multi-millions on this, I better be a fucking getting a cushy-ass job where I'm laying around.
Exactly.
Drinking and
at least get an executive producer credit.
Yeah, I want a fucking IMDb credit. There you go. One. There you
Cut
go.
two. That'll be one of my other videos. Is Logan and me in the Philippines getting in trouble together.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Well, we almost timed it like on my third trip because I think you were in Asia already, and we were kind of knocking around the idea of going to the Philippines. I think the downside was, would you really want to stay there much longer?
Yeah.
The Philippines is a little bit of a challenge to get to because it's away from the mainland.
Well, plus every time I've gone to Southeast Asia, I've gotten fucking conjunctivitis multiple times.
Yeah, I remember you said you always get sick in Asia. That's why you like Europe.
Pink eye, constantly. It's because their water's fucking poison, dude.
Yeah.
My weak-ass constitution, I'm fucking rolling against a 20 in endurance and con, and that's a 1 in 5 chance of not getting sick. This is not acceptable odds for me. But yeah, if I was to go there, I would want to go and like I don't know, it'd be rough because I think the cooler thing would be hanging out with you and meeting the extended family. But on the other hand, I know that there's a fuck ton of noisy kids there because they're fucking making more family every day. And so will that drive me fucking insane? I don't know. What I'd probably do is get a separate place to stay. It could be an Airbnb, or they could go, oh yes, this guy rents for $500 because it's the quietest fucking place we can find on the island or whatever, and close by and all that stuff. And I'd just go stay there and bitch about the chickens and the dogs and stuff, because in these places they're constantly fucking torturing them or something, so they make extra noise to drive off evil spirits, or maybe it's just my imagination.
Was that the same thing in Thailand and Vietnam? There's always a rooster somewhere in the
Oh my God, it makes me want to kill all the neighbors. Anybody who owns a rooster or a fucking loud dog, you just slowly throttle the person who owns it to death and go, yeah, fuck your dog,
It's probably the same thing in like Thailand or whatever. Are there just lots of stray dogs everywhere?
Oh,
like in the Philippines, or just fucking stray dogs all over the place?
Yeah. Which is weird because, there's a lot of fucking really poor people, and in a land like that where there's all those stray dogs, I would eat meat every night.
Yeah, it was funny because I didn't say this in the game because it's a little bit more complicated, but you know how Freddy's trying to figure out how to get all this food to Guri. And one of the ideas is, all right, mate, you need to go to the Philippines, you need to build a cleanse, and then you put the message out that you will buy any dog for 20 pesos. And you just start importing all these butchered dogs that are ready to cook, like street food, meat on a stick.
Yeah.
You just start serving dog on a stick. Like, that's good. They're everywhere. They'll never run out.
That's not going to work. No,
but now you can just import them as pets.
Yeah.
You could focus on feeding them kibble. You'd be a kibble importer.
Well, unfortunately, the big problem that they're running into, Jay, is in real life they have very little to no business knowledge. And in the game, their characters know jack shit about what they're trying to sell, and they come up with these wild ideas like, we could get into precious stones, and like, does your character know anything about gemology? No. And I was like, okay, quick aside, in Thailand, buying gold Buddhas is really common. Buying gold is very easy, and apparently it's supposed to be, in the world, one of the good places to buy gold. Logan has been to Thailand more times than I can actually remember. I've never bought gold. Why? Because I don't know shit about gold. Am I getting 24 karat, 48 karat, somewhere in between? I don't know. What's it worth? It uses the weird Troy measurement shit. It could be worth, it's a variable thing. It goes up and down. And also, is it hollow? We don't know. Is there lead inside? I don't know. I'm not a fucking alchemist, you know? And so you got all this stupid shit, and people are like, I got ripped off. What'd you buy? Gold. Yeah, good. Good. Are you going to buy more? Yeah, it's worth money. Yeah, you're an idiot. Okay, good. And, you know, so you have to, your character has to know about shit. Like when Chris is like, I want to go to a gem shadow, and he gets all these fucking gems. He's like, yes. I was like, do you know anything about gems? Nothing at all. Comes back and it's a bunch of shiny rocks. Cool, they're gems. Yeah, great. You got 3 golf bags full. Fuck you, you're good. It ain't worth much. So
yeah.
But and I was like, what? You thought you would get tens of thousands of gold and gems, but by just walking to different, you thought the campaign would be that easy to destroy? That's super good. Yeah, keep that up.
Well, all he has to do is build up his gemology and try again.
Fortunately, there's so much shit that he needs to work on that he is never going to give a shit. And plus, I think that being able to do stuff like what Jay's doing, where like the business matters and stuff like, oh, Jay, you're going to love this because I used your how to buy a business knowledge and stuff. And they were like, oh, we're going to go buy this business and stuff. I forget what kind it was. And I was like, roll business, fail, roll bargain, fail. Okay, yeah, it'll make like 50 a season, and you pay like 300 for it or something like that. And they're like, cool. And I was like, yeah, good. Glad you're happy. Come back in 6 seasons.
Let's look. It's an investment. We can always sell it down the line. We have
kind of. Jay, how much do you think that they can sell that investment?
Well, they bought it for 6 times the profit, and they shouldn't have paid more than 3 times the profit. Ideally, you would have gotten it for 2 times. But that's his point, is you guys didn't know that. But that was some of the skill he knew out of the game.
Yeah, well, Jay taught me. I fucking listened. Yeah. Well, because before Jay taught me that very simple formula, I was like, okay, the land's worth this much, and the tools are worth, and none of that shit matters. For something, especially for this, where I need just something quick and dirty, all I got to figure out is how much do we want to make per session, or not per season on that, and then how much more do I want to charge for it, and how useful is it going to be, and then like if the players are like if they actually get into a certain zone and they're like starting to build more contacts, more businesses and stuff, plots are going to start happening in that zone. Like if Jay owns a shoe business in a zone and he keeps going there, he's like, hey, how's the shoe business going? The NPCs will need to start to develop, and pretty soon Larry's going to have a problem with his girlfriend that maybe Jay can help out with and all this, and we'll get into all that kind of shit. And then Jay's like, oh, you know, I'm dealing with Larry's girlfriend now because fuck me, right? You know, but it's important because she actually knows this vampire and blah, 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 blah. You know, and that's one of the things I think that's the biggest strength of tabletop role-playing games versus computer games is you can get very individualized plot. In the computer games, there's 1 or 2 plots because it costs money per plot. And you're going to fucking go on that railroad track and that's it. You're not going to be like, I'm going to go start a fucking shoe store.
Right.
They didn't code that.
Right. Yeah. It reminds me, there's a line you said like, preparation precedes plot or something like that. So basically, wherever you are doing your work and developing, that's what's going to inspire plot ideas, because that's where you're doing stuff. That's where other people are going to react to things, and Logan's going to get inspired by whatever you're doing there.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, it's 4 sessions in a row they're working on this, so that gives me other ideas.
Well, at first I was like, I'm trying to plan out for shit that the players might get involved in, and then they're like, let's go start a shoe store, and I'm like, but I made this, I fucking poured out so much shit on World, like the Tri-Kingdoms. There's a good 50, 100 hours worth of work, and the players are like, we visit one town and one other place, and fuck them, learn English, you piece of shit. And then they left, and I was like, okay, we're gonna develop this differently from now on, because that's stupid. I'm not gonna put in that kind of time for places the players are like, don't care. If the magic goes away, it's completely worthless. A bunch of non-English speaking mooks, fuck them.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's okay. But now I just know to, like, pretty much I'll just wing it for the first few times that the players go to a place. And I'll take some notes on, stuff. And if they keep going back, it's like, wow, Jay seems to be spending all his time at the fucking shoe store. I better come up with some shit for there. Every session he's like, let's go spend a couple hours at the shoe store. And the airplane's like, fucking shoe store again. You're gonna go look and see if they got new pumps in? Is that what you're doing? Yeah. Okay, we're gonna spend an hour talking about pumps. Okay. And pretty soon I'm gonna start coming up with plots and shit. The pump shipment's late, Jay. Well, fuck. Where are my pumps?
Got to get to the bottom of this.
Right. So yeah, the players. I think the key is the players have to demonstrate, not just say that they're interested. Because that doesn't mean shit. I've had players go, we're definitely going to go over and take care of that caravan thing. 6 seasons later, what happened to the caravan thing? Who the fuck knows? That was 12 hours. That was 15 hours, 20 hours, 100 hours of work I'm never going to see again. So I don't give a shit about the caravan thing. Because also, unless the players hit it soon, I've forgotten about it. I've moved on. I've developed like another bunch of plots and shit. So it's out of my mind. I have to go read it and basically prep it all over again. It's like, this sucks. I should rewrite all this.
Yeah, you don't want to over prep and then find out no one is interested.
You don't want to do any prep if they're not interested, yeah.
You got enough players where there's a good chance somebody will be interested.
Well, one of the things I'm really good at is squeezing the most out of every module I can. Like the prepped modules, I'll try to run them at least 3 times.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I'm a prep heavy GM because there's a lot of these assholes. It's like, I take, 6 bullet points and I can run an evening off that. And I'm like, fuck you, that doesn't work for murder mysteries. Got to know who did it ahead of time. You got to have all kinds of like, I remember in one session, remember the dead body that was found, and it was super detailed, everything the dude had on him and shit. That was hours of fucking prep, and the players went through it meticulously, and they discovered all kinds of shit, and they were like, yeah, that's a lot of shit. And they tossed it in the vault and fucked off. I mean, that was a whole session of examining the dead body and all the shit on it. They were like, this is very interesting. And where's that shit now? Nobody knows. It's in the fucking pile. And they're like, we're dragons. We put it in the fucking pile and fuck it. We're going somewhere else to do something different. And I'm like, cool.
That was the Dora spy.
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking about that because last night I was actually going through some of the old in-game posts. Like, man, whatever happened with some of this stuff? Because there's that high level post, and I'm going through looking at some of this stuff. And I'm like, Jesus. And then I start thinking about like the overthruster and then that attack on the embassy. And I'm like, there's so much information here on the board that I think they might actually have some of the answers to their questions and not even realize it.
Oh, totally. That's
why I put my theory up. I'm like, I think Mr. Pink is actually who hired these guys or whoever he worked for. Why don't you guys check him out?
I'd like to answer that post. I'll do it later.
But, that was one of those things I saw in one post, and I went and looked at this post, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And But, yeah, I mean, that's the problem, is there's so much stuff going on that, people are just running around doing different things.
We just don't, Jason, decide to give out valuable information when we kind of need it. Yes, I'm looking at you specifically.
Me or him?
Me? Oh. Yes, you.
Which valuable information are you talking about?
Oh, I don't know. If you see a Harlequin, maybe you should give them a baseball-sized thing.
Oh, he was fucking enraged. Oh.
We just figured that out in our last session.
Yeah. But nobody posted anything, and I think since that was figured out, I think that a couple of groups have gotten into like knockdown, drag out fights with the Harlequins, and one of the groups had like a bear paw thrown at their feet, and then it was like, and yeah, that happened, and that's why I asked, what was that
one?
That's why he got pissed, because the bear paw came out. I made that part of my comments. I said, I bet their boss was pissed when they saw that bear claw.
Oh, that was so goddamn funny, because wasn't it Freddy like basically running for his life from a group of them?
2 of them, yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Oh, and I had to pay a farmer $25 because he took the bear claw, because I thought it was important.
Oh yeah, the other player gave him the bear claw, and Freddy's like, "Give me the bear claw." The farmer's like, "It's my bear claw now." And Freddy's trying to bargain.
Oh, that's awesome! I can't wait to tell Ralph that, because it was actually Jack Swade, because we were sitting there, and I was trying to offer him a cigarette. He's like, He just kept his hand out. And like Swade pulls a bear paw out of his backpack. I don't know where the hell he got it.
I don't know.
Just gets him, and then they just turn around and ran off. I'm like, all right. So I was like, all right, we're about to be chased all around Gothic by these bastards.
Well, see, it's that kind of, I love that kind of overflow between one party and the other party doesn't even realize it came from the other party. That's what makes this a fucking living world right there. You don't get that kind of shit if it's like the same asshole sitting around the same table at the same time every week or whatever. You don't get that kind of shit where it's like the bear paw.
Like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, you don't get that. It's great.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I hate you.
Not everything's going to get shared, as you know, and just like you're not going to post everything in time that you learn.
I do more than most people.
You do more than most people.
I at least make an effort.
I'm very proud we are of all of that.
You are known for the best briefings.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
Oh, I love it when Yana has to brief the PCs on vital shit. Because she is the most vague person. But what's even better, Jay, is then like she'll give a quarter-ass briefing. And then as the game is going on, just after it would have been really vital to know that information, she goes, "Oh yeah," and then gives you the information like a couple minutes after it was totally vital to have it, and bad things happen because you didn't have it.
Right.
That's the best briefing.
Yeah, it's like it's beyond burying the lead.
Yeah. That makes me so happy. All right. Well, I think we've got a fucking strategy for at least next session.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys, for helping me test this out. I'm going to roll. And
sure.
We're going to end up having like 35 fucking views for us just sitting around coming up with a plethora of ideas and shit like that. And then somebody else will try to get in on it. Jay will say we shouldn't have fucking broadcast it live. And I'll be like, what? And so, all right. I'll catch you guys
Take
later.
care, guys.
See you guys.
Ciao.
All right. Bye-bye.
You're writing a really important email to a colleague.
Welcome to QI, the show that tickles the armpit of tedium with the feather duster of interestingness. Tonight, we're taking a lingering look at love. My guest...
my ex-girlfriend's mum.
Oh, my goodness. Just before Waterloo, before the escape of Napoleon. While Napoleon was in Elba, having abdicated, if you remember. Able was I ere I saw Elba. What's odd about that phrase?
It's a palindrome, isn't it?
English, Colin Lane.
Thank you.
Taking the Queen's shilling, David Mitchell. Wearing the Queen's uniform, Sarah Millican. And the groom of the stool, Alan Davis. Right, let's hear their queenly quartet. Sarah goes.
Play with the Queen of Hearts.
Nice. Colin goes.
You are the dancing queen.
Oh, I love a bit of Scandi music. And David goes.
I'm the homecoming queen.
And Alan goes.
And what do you do?
Right, what can you tell me about the royal we?
It doesn't smell?
And we're off and running.
Mind edging his first delivery slip. Pretty Benno.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
Was that an Australian accent?
Oh, come on! I've been working on that since you were last here.
Really?
They don't open their teeth up.
They? Yes.
They. I've busted my crown,
Oh, no.
you see?
I'll go over to this side. What can you tell me
Yes.
about the royal we?
There was something weird about George III's wee. I think maybe it was purple, and then they thought he had porphyria, and then now they think he didn't have porphyria, but they were definitely saying there's something up with this guy's wee.
Yeah.
Also, he's gone mad.
Yes. That is entirely correct, but I'm heading in a different direction. Why might a royal person say we?
First person plural.
It is the majestic plural. It's known as nosism from the Latin nose for we. It's the idea that the royal person, instead of referring to themselves as I, in fact, says we.
Implying there's more than one of them.
Yes, well, we can trace it back to Henry II, and it used to mean God and I. That's what it really comes from. We've got Henry II there and his successor, Richard I, and it's Richard I that introduced the motto, Dieu est mon droit, God and my right, and that remains the royal motto ever since.
Got your crown on, Dave. Got your crown.
I like to think this is like a working crown. This isn't like a Parliament opening coronation crown. This is a crown.
Daily.
Yeah, you can wear it all the time. You can
Doing
go
dishes.
into battle.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a paper and some fags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going to the garage at 3 a.m. for munches.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, the Queen doesn't actually use the pronoun one as much as you would think. They analysed all her speeches since 1952, and she uses I 6 times more often than she says one. It's a parody, really, of how she...
Unless she'd got bored of it.
Yeah,
Must
one's
be
not
boring
doing that
being
anymore.
queen, so just mix it up a bit.
It must be quite dull, do you not think? Constantly having to open and close things.
I don't think, to be fair, you mean opening as in launching?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think she closes many things. When BHS went under, I didn't think
Who choose the Queen's food?
Beef eaters.
Bacteria.
Oh. Yes, we're going to accept that, except that we are in the land of honey.
It's a bee. The worker bees. The worker bees.
The worker bees are the other... It's not all the other bees, because they divide up into lots of categories.
So there's lazy ones as well.
There are drone ones, there are scout ones, there are worker ones.
There are product development bees, aren't there?
Yeah,
and they've achieved very little recently. I mean, it is just honey, isn't it?
It's just...
Unless it's Manuka honey, and then it's 15 quid.
Yeah.
What are those bees on?
But when you compare them to Kit Kat, I mean, Kit Kat, there's orange Kit Kat, various... I mean, they really worked on the product development compared to honey is just honey.
So worker bees, they pre-digest the Queen's food. The because she doesn't have the necessary glands to digest it herself. Even more unpleasant than that, they have the power to put her on a crash diet. What? Yes, I know. So she gets really big and heavy. She's too heavy to fly. And when they want to swarm, which they do once a year, they put her on a crash diet so that she loses a third of her body weight, and so she's ready to take off.
Is there a committee or something? There's some level of management that goes, you know, the Queen's getting a bit porky, maybe.
Genuinely don't know how these decisions are made. So, for example, choosing a new queen, they seem to select rather randomly a bee at the larva stage. And they give it a special diet, different from all of the workers. So these are queen cups. These are new queens being developed. Most larvae are fed honey and pollen by worker bees, but occasionally one is fed only royal jelly, which is a sort of protein that's secreted from the glands in the worker bees' heads. And this one is elevated to royal status. Becomes queen, but I like that you asked the question because the truth is we don't know.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we used to think it was the royal jelly that made the queens develop differently, and we now think it's not what she's fed, but what she is not fed. So the fact that she does not get pollen and honey like the others, it actually makes her ovaries grow large, while the others' reproductive organs, the ones that get the pollen and honey, they actually shrink. It's a terrible life, actually, because when it comes time to get rid of her, if she's sick or she's unproductive, she's not having any more babies, the workers kill her by balling her.
Oh, I don't know if I want to know what that is.
No.
It's not what I think it is.
No, large group swarms tightly around her and
Better than I was thinking. Yeah.
raises her body temperature until she is fatally overheated. I
know!
This is I love that we're all feeling sorry that it is Queen Bee. But actually, we say Queen Bee, since Aristotle's time, it was always assumed it was a king. It took until the 1670s. There was a Dutch scientist called Jan Swammerdam, and he dissected a king bee under a microscope and rather just shocked to discover the size of the ovaries, which represent a quarter of a mature queen's body weight. He also learnt this great thing. If you remove the queen from the hive on a stick, all the other bees will follow you. And this is a beekeeping trick that people use now. And the most bizarre use was in the 18th century in show business. There was a beekeeper called Daniel Wildman. He had a honey shop in London, and he promoted it by riding horses, standing up while wearing a beard of bees.
And that made people buy from his shop rather than just thinking he was mad.
It's pretty startling if you have a look. This is not him, but these are other people who have the skill of getting bees to do as they please.
Do they all have honey shops as well?
I think they were just selling tickets in the end, because there was a woman called Patty Jones, so she was the wife of the inventor of the modern circus, Philip Astley, and she used to perform horse riding stunts, but she used to have a swarm of bees on her hand imitating a lady's muff. I mean a hand warmer. Now, who has sex for 15 years and gets licked to death by their own children?
Going to be an insect or something,
is it something like a termite?
It is a termite, you're
It
absolutely right, yes.
Did you know?
Be warned, even if you like insects, I think this is a bit gross, OK?
I don't really like insects.
Right, so
I accept they're necessary.
Yeah, they are necessary, but this is, honestly, a yellow pulsating mass. So the termite queen, just like bees, is the only fertile female in the colony, and she gives birth to all the rest. But unlike other insects, mates for life, and I mean literally. So, after choosing, a king spends 15 years incessantly mating to produce the nest colony. She produces one egg every 3 seconds.
No.
I know. So over 250 million in her lifetime. And
It's like a paintball machine.
so that you can just see her head at the front, and that is her body, and that her egg-producing organ becomes so massive that she's rendered entirely... There she is. Oh. I know. She's played by Olivia Colman in the film. She's literally pulsating, producing eggs the whole time. She grows to be too large to leave the cell. She can be 100 times the size of the other termites.
Is that the king there on the end?
No, that's her.
The black bit at the end
Is
there?
her.
That's her.
And the rest is egg-producing organ.
Oh.
I said it was gross.
Is she having sex and producing an egg at the same time?
Yeah, so she's endlessly shaking. She goes through about 5 to 10 kings in her lifetime. I think they just get exhausted. I think they can't deal with it.
I mean, does she do it the same way every time? Like, do they have to experiment with the sex life to keep it fun and...
Yeah. No, I think she just gets rid of the king. And she can't move, so her babies tend to her, they feed her, they clean her, they drink the secretion that she sweats. Look at this. I did warn you, it's revolting. But when she has outlived her usefulness, so she's not producing enough babies anymore, the children surround her and they lick her to death. They literally suck the fluids and fats from her body.
Who'd have thought that there was such a disgusting story behind something as lovely as a termite?
Anyway, what's wrong with the Queen in this picture?
Nothing at all. Oh, no, he's kissing a hand. Sorry, I just realised.
Did you think that was a clean-shaven gentleman?
Is she dead?
She is dead. This is Inés de Castro. So we are back in the 14th century. She was the mistress of the then future king of Portugal, Peter I. He had a wife called Constance, and she died. It was very sad. So he immediately moved Inés in, and they had 3 illegitimate children. Now, his dad was still king then, Alfonso IV. He was furious. So he had Inés killed. Well, obviously, Peter didn't like this very much. So he caught 2 of the killers, and he had their hearts torn out and pulverised before him while he ate dinner. So quite cross. I mean...